Chapter 997. Kill. The angry roars were loud. However, the roars were useless. Soon, Wu Chuan and Kong Lingyuan were sent flying, crashing through the air, blood spurting nonstop. Old Man Li and the others looked at each other. Their laughter became softer, a little helpless, but very calm. Two newly promoted paragons were no match for them. That was for sure. Old Man Li was really helpless now. He sighed, "Old Wu, why are you so useless? You're ranked higher than Wu Chuan. Why don't you become a paragon?" Wu Quishan said calmly, "I'm not as high as you. I'm fourth on the wind cloud list. Why don't you become a paragon?" "I'm still young. I'm not that much older than you." Old Man Li was not convinced. He cursed, "You've absorbed true King Dao. You're as useless as Tian Mu." Beside him, Tian Mu was implicated. He smiled bitterly. "I absorbed Dao. I was only a weak rank 9 then. Could I be the same as Wu Quishan? Wu Quishan is really useless. I said he would become a paragon a long time ago. He hasn't done it yet." The three of them spoke one after another, cursing and swearing. There was no elegance to speak of. Although they were cursing, they still looked at Li Hansong and the other two behind them. Old Man Li frowned slightly, saying, "These three kids seem to have some ideas. However, they're not even rank 9 now, although their combat strength is strong. Even if they break rank 9 now, it's already good enough if they have rank 5 or 6 strength. Of course, if they go further, they might have rank 7 or 8 strength." The key was that it was useless. Even if the three of them joined forces and possessed combat strength at Qi Huanyu's level, it was useless at this moment. Two veteran true gods. Their strength was not comparable to ordinary true gods. Did they not see the two newly promoted paragons being beaten miserably? Shouting about killing true gods to congratulate them earlier was just bragging. Even if they could not win, they had to show their strength. Wu Quishan smiled, saying, "Maybe there's hope? Look after these kids. Now the seal is broken." Wu Quishan looked around and said slowly, "The few of us are considered half-crippled. We can't even run." He looked around and finally saw the old CCMU vice-chancellor who was healing. He smiled, saying, "Vice-chancellor Yu and those kids, I'll leave them to you. Your injuries aren't too serious, and Li Hansong is half a student of yours. Later bring them away." Before the old headmaster could speak, Tian Mu casually said, "I don't even know how a weakling like you managed to sneak in. Since the battle wasn't of much use, you could only run away. Old Yun, run faster later. I know you can run. All these years, other than me, you're the only one who's lived the longest in martial arts universities. You've participated in many battles. Not only did you not die, you've even made it to rank 9. You have a lot of teaching experience. When you go back, take a few promising fellows and find a place to hide." The old vice-chancellor of CCMAU opened his eyes and looked at the crowd. He said in a low voice, "I'm old, and my strength is not enough. It's good that you're not strong enough." Tian Mu chuckled and said, "Only the weak will not be noticed. They will not be pursued. As for us experts on the wind and cloud list, if we really lose, none of us can escape. You're not a powerhouse on the wind cloud ranking. When the time comes, the inheritance will be the most important. You're qualified." The old headmaster looked at the crowd before turning his head to look at the few young talents. A hint of helplessness flashed across his eyes. Leave? Who would be willing to take on such a responsibility? Even Kong Lingyuan dared not. Hence, after settling down the rank 9 who had retreated, he quickly rushed here, ready to find an opportunity to participate in the battle. Those who were responsible for inheriting civilization were the most pitiful. The old vice-chancellor sighed. "The minister and the others should have made arrangements. There's no need for me to stay. Since Zhang Tao had already made preparations for the last fight, he would not be unprepared. The plan to preserve a descendant might have already begun. Just go if I tell you to. What's with the nonsense?" Tian Mu was about the same age as him. He did not mince his words and said hotly, "It's not like I'm letting you live. I'm letting these kids live. They can only take revenge if they're alive." As he said that, he transmitted his voice. "The few of us will give that long-haired guy a fierce blow later." That fellow Wu Chuan seized the opportunity. He He might be able to take advantage of us. Everyone was well aware of the so-called fierce blow. As they spoke, the few people behind them had some changes. At this moment, Li Hansong was the first to experience a change. His body expanded rapidly. Li Hansong opened his eyes and said gloomily, what do I do now? No experience. He walked through the Sanjiao Gate, the gate of life. This time it seemed to be a little different. His mentality and consciousness wandered in the gate of life for a long time. Then his body began to expand. His aura was getting stronger and stronger. But Li Hansong felt like he was about to explode. What did this mean? Was he considered to have succeeded? No experience at all. At this moment, Yao Qingjun also opened his eyes. He frowned slightly and said, "Do you see the gate?" "What? You don't see it?" Yao Qingjun glanced at him. At this moment, his mentality was also constantly transforming. He said in a low voice, "It's not the ordinary rank 9. Try pushing the gate. It seems like you can push it." In the depths of the gate of mind, he saw a faintly discernible gate. His mentality pushed for a bit. It did not seem to be too sturdy. The gate seemed to have opened a small gap. Then it was the current situation. His mentality continued to grow. The speed was very fast. "Gate?" Li Hansong said in surprise. "We have a gate too? Did extreme Dao heavenly emperors have a gate too?" This was unclear. It seemed like no one knew. Wasn't it said that extreme Dao heavenly emperors could battle sovereigns? If sovereigns sealed the gate, they could still block the path of extreme Dao heavenly emperors. This was also looking down on extreme Dao heavenly emperors too much, right? Thinking up to here, Li Hansong looked at him rather strangely. "Don't tell me you're exterminating? Imposter?" Yao Qingjun could not be bothered. "I really didn't see it." "You saw it. Maybe it's really an imposter." Right at this time, Wang Jinyang opened his eyes. At this moment, his vitality surged continuously, becoming stronger and stronger. The three people did not seem to have walked out of Origin Dao, but their auras were strengthening continuously, making the others somewhat surprised and giving sidelong glances too. How did these three people do it? Not stepping into Origin, how did they become strong? Wang Jinyang opened his eyes and said with a slight frown, "There's a gate. I saw it too. The only possibility is that after the previous life died, someone laid down a gate anew." The moment these words came out, the few people's hearts trembled slightly. What did he mean? Wang Jinyang did not say much either. What did he mean? The Sanjiao Gate had 3 gates. Back then, when Zhan and these people were alive, did sovereigns really block 3 gates? Not necessarily. In that case, perhaps after Zhan and these people died, someone else made a move and laid down another gate, a total of 3 gates. Wang Jinyang said nothing else, nor did he move, continuing to close his eyes. He discovered that the more he pushed the gate, the faster his strength grew. It was as if something behind the gate was feeding back to them, strengthening their strength. Whether this was considered walking the Great Tao in reverse, they did not know. Perhaps this was the leftover feedback from their previous life. When they were weak, the imperishable substance that healed them seemed to have originated from this. There was indeed another world within the Sanjiao Gate. Under normal circumstances, when ordinary martial artists explored the Sanjiao Gate with their mental power, it was very easy for them to become immersed and eventually be unable to return. If that happened, they would become the living dead. None of them had it. Wang Jinyang did not think too much about it. At this time, he just had to accept this fact. Soon, Wang Jinyang opened his eyes again. This time, Li Hansong said sheepishly, "I still haven't discovered it. In any case, I feel that I'm still growing stronger, but I did see a path. I don't know if it's the Great Tao of Origin. I didn't go there. It's quite far. We'll talk about this later." Wang Jinyang was unwilling to say more, but Yao Qingjun said faintly, "For someone with an iron head, maybe there's no one blocking the way." Li Hansong glanced at him. "I'll kill you sooner or later. Old Yao is actually stabbing me in the heart every day now." Although he thought about it, Li Hansong still said quickly, "No, it's hard to go further." "My current strength," Li Hansong shook his head. He felt that he was much stronger than before, but even if he was stronger, did he have the strength of 4th or 5th stage origin. Even if the three of them joined forces, they might not be Wu Quishan's match. It was useless. This made Li Hansong extremely disappointed. It's useful. Wang Jinyang's aura seemed to be a notch stronger than Li Hansong's. At this moment, he glanced at the two of them, took a deep breath, and said, Fang Ping isn't here. We can only rely on ourselves. If he's here, it'll be very easy for us. But now, let's try it. As the two of them looked at him doubtfully, Wang Jinyang said telepathically, Among the three of us, one of us has a strong vitality, one has a strong mentality, and the last has a strong physique. If Fang Ping is here and changes his aura, the three of us might be able to merge into one. The three of us will merge into one, becoming an existence with a strong physique, vitality, and mentality. As soon as he said that, Li Hansong was excited at first, then disappointed. Fang Ping was not here. Although Fang Ping is not here now, it's not impossible. Both of you have absorbed the strength of Zhan's heart, and I have absorbed even more. Wang Jinyang's eyes flickered. Zhan's strength is very strong, and the essence of his strength is even stronger. His strength has always been in our bodies. Think of a way to extract this strength now and forcefully conceal your own aura. We'll try to use Zhan's strength as our origin, and the three of us will merge. It's similar to the combo combat technique, but it's a level higher. In the Emperor's tomb, Old Yao and Tai Tu had both absorbed Zhan's strength. If that was the case, they could use Heavenly Emperor Zhan's origin as a link and try to merge. When the two heard that, their eyes lit up. The three of them in one. Perhaps it was not just a simple superposition of their strength. Perhaps it would be even stronger. This time, both of them began to search for Zhan's strength. The essence of Zhan's strength was too high, and they did not finish absorbing it last time. The three of their auras gradually began to fluctuate. At this moment, the two true gods who were fighting with Kong Lingyuan also transmitted their voices to each other. Are Wang Jinyang and the rest a little different? A little? Origin. Origin seems to be assimilating. Origin assimilation? What are they doing? Be careful. More and more of the 72 Lords of Gods have died these years. Previously, Chong Qingzi and the rest had not even left the graveyard of the gods and died inside. We cannot follow in their footsteps. I'll stop these two. You go and kill the others. Capture these few. These three people might be the reincarnations of extreme Dao heavenly emperors. Who knew if they had a backup plan? Although it was almost impossible for these three people to instantly recover their previous life strength. But what if? Of course, if they really recovered, then they were not what they could deal with. Even if all the powerhouses of the current three realms gathered together, they might not be a match. One emperor suppressing the three realms. Extreme Dao Heavenly Emperor's strength was comparable to an emperor. The appearance of an extreme Dao Heavenly Emperor was also enough to suppress the three realms. This was the true supreme powerhouse of the heavenly realm. There were some things that the people of the divine sect knew more than the average venerable emperor. This was because the founder of the divine sect was really closely related to the emperor. Both of them were vigilant. Too many true gods had died today. They were also afraid that they would follow in their footsteps. At this moment, both of them exploded in an instant, fighting Kong Lingyuan and Wu Chuan until they kept crashing through the space. However, Wu Chuan also seemed to have sensed that these people were not normal. Seeing the situation, he roared angrily, yelling crazily, yelling, "Old Kong! Whoever lets the opponent go is a coward." Kong Lingyuan was speechless. "What time is it now? You're using this to provoke me?" Think it was just thinking. Kong Lingyuan was also fighting with all his might. Although he felt that he should not believe a few brats who had not even reached rank 9, Fang Ping had already let him see that those rank 8 martial artists should not be underestimated. Fang Ping had broken 9. That was killing many true gods. Even if these three were not as good as Fang Ping, if the three of them joined forces, they would more or less have some combat power, right? Just as Kong Lingyuan and Wu Chuan were fighting with all their might to entangle their opponents, the three people's auras were becoming more and more similar, closer and closer. the origin of the power of battle. At this moment, Li Hansong's divine armor appeared. Yao Qingjuan's long spear appeared in a flash. Wang Jinyang's longbow also appeared once again. The three of them opened their eyes abruptly. Merge! The three of them roared one after another. At this moment, Yao Qingjun seemed to turn invisible. His entire body merged into the long spear. The god-destroying spear suddenly erupted with a dazzling light. It was the same for Wang Jinyang. At this moment, it was as if he had become pure vitality, merging into the blood-colored longbow in the blink of an eye. The longbow seemed to be alive. The color of blood was also becoming more intense. At this moment, Li Hansong roared. Holding the bow in his left hand and the spear in his right, he roared, "Merge! Hum!" The void trembled. Li Hansong's aura suddenly skyrocketed. His body also expanded, turning into a giant. "No! I've been tricked to death by you guys. You guys are squeezing me until I explode." Li Hansong roared. These two people's powers were merging with him. All of a sudden, his mentality and vitality force skyrocketed. It was a little hard for him to bear such an increase in strength. "Stop talking nonsense. Attack quickly." Wang Jinyang's roar was heard. This guy, did he not just stack his strength a few times? Did he not just have a physical body that was about to explode? His physical body was strong. What was there to be afraid of? Li Hansong cursed. Without another word, he roared again and broke through the air. This time he was far away from everyone. At the next moment, Li Hansong held the longbow in his hand. He knocked his spear and shouted, "Vice-Chancellor Wu, Elder Kong, hold them back." Wu Chuan did not say anything. Li Hansong roared again, "Hold them back." This time Wu Chuan could not hold it in anymore. His mentality fluctuated violently. "Stop talking nonsense. Hurry." What were these few brats doing? He could feel the skyrocketing aura. But now he was about to be beaten to death. "If you have the time to let me hold them back, then go ahead and fight. Kill them." At this moment, the two true gods were a little wary and shouted. The three of them had actually merged into one. This was beyond their expectations. However, from the aura, they were very strong. They did not seem to have reached the level of a true god. Logically speaking, there was nothing to worry about. But when the long-haired true god was locked on by the spear, he kept feeling uncomfortable and uneasy. At this moment, Li Hansong roared, "I can't hold on any longer." With a loud roar, his golden body exploded. The divine armor did not move at all, but the flesh and blood inside instantly evaporated. "Shoot! Rumble!" The god-slaying spear was mixed with an extremely powerful aura and shot out. It seemed to be inferior to a true god's attack. The long-haired true god wanted to dodge, but he was held back by Wu Chuan. In addition, the spear was locked on, so it was hard for him to dodge. "No, something's wrong. The aura is not too strong. It shouldn't be a threat to my life," the long-haired true god thought to himself. However, that sense of danger did not disappear. Very soon, he knew where the danger was coming from. His companions were facing him. He had his back to them and did not see anything. However, his companions saw an unforgettable scene. The spear suddenly changed halfway through its trajectory. At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared on the spear. The figure appeared a little abruptly. Its back was facing them, and it was facing Li Hansong. At this moment, there seemed to be a sigh. "You are better than I expected. I thought you would hold back a little. I didn't expect. You didn't mind. You are you. I am me. After all, we are not alone," a murmur was heard. At the next moment, the figure turned around, grabbed the god-slaying spear casually, and threw it out. The god-slaying spear did not seem to contain any energy waves. It was calm. Not even the sound of the wind was heard. You have to learn how to use your power reasonably. Extreme martial artists have unique power and control it all. Of course, you and I are not on the same path. Figure it out yourself, a murmur was heard. In the blink of an eye, the spear appeared behind the long-haired true god. Like a piece of tofu, the spear easily pierced into his back. In the long-haired true god's disbelief, the spear broke out of his body. In the blink of an eye, its power was exhausted, and it fell to the ground after piercing through his body. However, all the power that he had just gathered exploded in his body. Rumble! This explosion was so loud that it shocked everyone. However, the long-haired true god's physical body was still in the same spot, but there was a hole in his chest. The explosion did not come from his physical body. At the next moment, everyone knew where the explosion came from. In the sky, a path was destroyed in an instant. It was not broken, but it turned into countless pieces and disappeared from the world. At this moment, Yao Qingjun fell to the ground, panting heavily. He held the god-slaying spear in his hand and looked at Wang Jinyang, who had fallen with Li Hansong, strangely. Wang Jinyang's face was pale, but he did not say a word. Li Hansong's divine armor did not disappear. He relied on the power of the divine armor to maintain his golden body from collapsing completely. At this moment, he was stunned. Was that a battle? Battle. He did not die? Then what was old Wang? It was just a remnant will. Wang Jinyang lowered his head and groaned. His blood flowed out, and his face was pale. Everyone has a demonic heart, and he is no exception. He is not a saint without any desires. He wants to revive. The power of his heart has some remnant will. At this moment, Li Hansong seemed to understand. When old Wang absorbed the power of heavenly battle Thearch's heart, he seemed to have absorbed something else. That shadow just now might be what he had absorbed. However, at this moment, old Wang exhausted everything to draw out the power of his heart, and it seemed to have expelled this thing. Li Hansong looked at him worriedly. Was this all? Could old Wang have been possessed by Zhan? He could not be bothered to be shocked at how powerful Zhan was. Just now, Zhan had used the power of not even a true god, but a casual attack had destroyed a true god's source. The use of power was already beyond imagination. Old Wang did not speak anymore, and he did not have the strength to speak. This was just a portion of the heart's power. If he went to the ruins of the heaven and absorbed the remaining corpses, would he still be Zhan? Perhaps. But even so, I should find a chance to look for it. Old Wang muttered in his heart. It was time to look for it. He was stronger, and he was willing to help humans. That was enough. Just like what Tai Tu had said, even if he became his previous life and lost himself, so what? If he could really recover the power of the extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor, it would be enough to quell all troubles. Zhan was really too powerful. A remnant will, combined with the power of a true god, killed a true god so easily that it was shocking. This was the might of the extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor. At the same time, another true god attacked Kong Lingyuan frenziedly. He wanted to run. His companion's death shocked him too much. What was that? Did the extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor revive? To actually easily slay a true god, this made him terrified to the max. Even when he saw the three people seemingly powerless at this moment, falling to the ground, he also wanted to run. Too terrifying. If there was crushing in terms of power, he would not be so alarmed. But the power that the other party displayed did not have true god level. He wanted to run, but at this moment, Wu Chuan and Kong Lingyuan went crazy. Dead. To actually finish off a true god so easily, Wu Chuan laughed crazily and roared. Your father also slaughtered a god. All around, the human powerhouses all had dazed looks. You slaughtered a god? Yes. The other party's corpse was sent flying by Wu Chuan with a kick. But were you sure that you killed it? Wu Chuan did not care about this. My opponent died, and no one present had the strength to kill him. Then it was naturally me who killed it. Old Kong, trash, kill him together. Slaughter a pair today. Kong Lingyuan was speechless. At this moment, he also could not care too much. With a loud roar, he and Wu Chuan attacked that true god frenziedly, one in front and one behind. The void cracks appeared frequently. The commotion was huge. Compared to the fall of that true god, just now, the commotion was more than 1,000 times bigger. But at this moment, everyone's mind was still recalling that spear just now. Millions of power control. Not only that, there was also the condensation of power truly condensing into one point. At this moment, many people were deep in thought. as if comprehending something. A few powerhouses also landed one after another at this time, protecting the three in the center. No one asked what exactly happened just now. At the same time, heavenly kings subduing, King Sun, King Jin, these heavenly king powerhouses, other than the still frenzied moon spirit, all appeared one after another, looking in the direction of Mount Royal Sea. They did not sense anything, nor did they see anything. The only thing they felt was that a great Tao collapsed and a true God fell. But at that moment just now, they seemed to be faintly palpitating. Heavenly King, subduing, looked over there and did not speak. Very soon, he turned his head to look at Zhang Tao. Zhang Tao was about to fall. His backup plan did not seem to have appeared yet, or rather, he was just fooling Fang Ping. The unforeseen event at Mount Royal Sea happened not long ago here. At this moment, Fang Ping and Zhao Xingwu were still waiting for an opportunity to break out. The fall of a true god did not seem to cause too much of a commotion today. Chapter 998. Does Zhang Tao still have a backup plan? At this point in the battle, even Heavenly King stage powerhouses had appeared. Among the known Heavenly King stage powerhouses, other than the Kuan King, it was unknown if the Demon Emperor had reached the Heavenly King stage, but the probability was not low. If these two Heavenly King stage powerhouses did not appear, it was hard to say if there were any Heavenly Kings behind the sky beyond Avalon and the Domain Lands. Who else could turn the situation around? Li Zhu had been watching from the sidelines. Even though Zhang Tao dashed over, Li Zhu still retreated. Under such circumstances, how could Zhang Tao break through the encirclement? The battle was in full swing. Humans versus the catacombs. The Wangwu versus the divine sect. Some of the venerable sovereigns in the human realm upon heavens had joined the battle, while the rest were fighting against the 5 venerable sovereigns who had helped the humans. The subduing Heavenly King had been entangled with the 2 Heavenly Kings. At the moment, most of the experts from the overseas immortal islands, and some from the human realm beyond heavens and the land of domains had yet to join the battle, while the 2 kings and Li Zhu had yet to join the battle. Who could reverse the situation at this moment and save mankind? Fang Ping did not know. At this moment, Fang Ping was also at a loss. He was very powerful. He had killed many true gods in the space battlefield. After he came out, he had killed 3 true gods under the command of the 2 kings and had secretly severed the great Tao of 4 or 5 true gods. Among the true gods who had fallen today, more than 10 had died in Fang Ping's hands. He had done it very successfully. Unprecedented. Wang Wu's participation in the war was also very important to him. If he did not bring back an emperor weapon, Moon Spirit might not easily believe Zhao Xingwu's words. At this point, no one would say that Fang Ping was useless. However, Fang Ping kept glancing at Zhang Tao. In his mind, Zhang Tao was extremely powerful and omnipotent. Was it really impossible? Zhang Tao said that he would create an opportunity for him to break out of the encirclement. Could it be the opportunity for him to die? 6 venerable sovereigns besieged Zhang Tao. At this moment, Zhang Tao's golden body was already dim, and his aura was unstable. Fang Ping had already made preparations. He informed the cat to activate the trap. Regardless of whether these people win or not, they would more or less create some chaos. Just as he was about to do so, Zhang Tao suddenly let out a bitter laugh as he was nailed to the void by Fate King's spear. Seeing that the Fate Monarch was about to make another move, Zhang Tao coughed up blood, but he said, "What's the rush? Were they that impatient? Aren't you afraid that I'll kill you before I die?" Even if Zhang Tao, who possessed the strength of 36 saints, was seriously injured and on the verge of death, the 6 venerable emperors would not dare to be careless. If it wasn't for the fact that he had expended too much energy this time and didn't have enough time to fuse with his Tao, the 6 of them might not have been able to injure him so easily. "Wait, I can't run." Zhang Tao laughed. Then he panted and said, "I've always thought that I've done all kinds of evil things and am not a good person." He had never claimed to be a good person, but although I'm not a good person, I rarely go against my conscience. Everyone frowned. What was King Wu doing at this time? Summarize my life? The martial king was indeed a character. Even during the heavenly realm, those princes couldn't compare to someone like King Wu. They had to bear hardships and forge ahead. Step by step, they had led the Huan nation to this point. In a single battle, the humans had killed dozens of monarchs. This was an outcome that no one could have predicted 30 years ago. But even heroes have their twilight years. Zhang Tao had nowhere else to go. Was there a need for someone like him to boast about his achievements? Zhang Tao opened his mouth. At this moment, more than half of the powerhouses focused their attention on him. What else did King Wu want to say? Even the two kings and Li Zhu were interested. What did King Wu want to say now? On Fang Ping's side, Warlord staggered over and met up with Zhao Xingwu. They had finally stopped their opponent. At this moment, Warlord's expression was a little ugly, as if he knew something. While everyone was paying attention, Life King did not rush to kill Zhang Tao. Zhang Tao's aura was still declining. His injuries were too severe. The longer this dragged on, the weaker King Wu would be. In the end, he might not even be able to attack before his death. Besides, he wanted to hear what King Wu had to say. He also wanted to know what someone like King Wu would do at this time. Turn the tables? The catacombs and the divine sect had countless powerhouses. The two kings had not made a move yet, but it did not mean that they would not. On Zhang Tao's side, even if another heavenly king came, he might not be able to save him. Killing King Wu was a consensus among many. King Wu, are you done? Zhang Tao chuckled. Not yet. Can't you wait for a while? After saying that, Zhang Tao sighed. Sometimes it's better to be black-hearted. What happened today was my idea alone. No one else knows about it. I will take responsibility for my actions. If you have any dissatisfaction, come at me. As soon as he said that, Life King and the others felt uneasy. At this moment, they did not wait any longer and attacked one after another. Zhang Tao, on the other hand, unleashed his remaining strength and resisted with difficulty. He shouted, 10 years ago, I went to a place by chance. There, I took an ice coffin with me. Do you want to resurrect her? Do it, or I will destroy all your hopes today. Zhang Tao. At this moment, the color of the world changed. In fact, the air was even colder than when Moon's spirit appeared. A deep, piercing voice spread in all directions. Good. Very good. Zhang Tao, I've been searching for 10 years. I thought of many people, but I never thought it would be you. You deserve to die. The voice was extremely cold. The next moment, a long sword shattered the void and appeared in front of Life King and the others instantly. Die. Heaven-destroying sword technique. Unquestionable sword. Demon Emperor. The surroundings were in chaos instantly. The unquestionable sword appeared. Life King and the others' expressions changed drastically. When that long sword appeared, they sensed the danger of death. Life King roared and waved his spear to block it. Before the sword arrived, Life King's spear was shattered. Thousand Goblin King returned to his true form. A giant dragon roared. His body shone with golden light, but his scales were still shattered. Heavenly Goblin King also roared. He turned into a golden-winged rock and soared into the sky. The remaining 3 venerable sovereigns roared and retreated. Demon Emperor. At this moment, some people seemed to understand something. Gong Yuzi, who was fighting with others, was extremely angry. He roared, Zhang Tao, how dare you? At this moment, Gong Yuzi even gave up on his opponents and flew toward Zhang Tao. He was helping the humans, but Zhang Tao did such an evil thing. It was so disappointing. Zhang Tao's face was pale, but he didn't regret it. Looking at the shattered space in the distance, he said, the ice coffin isn't with me. I hid it somewhere, since the Demon Emperor has appeared and wants to take back the ice coffin. Demon Emperor, please help the humans escape. The space in the distance was shattered. An illusory figure appeared between heaven and earth. Heaven and earth shook. At this moment, even the crazy moon's spirit slowed down. She tilted her head and looked at the illusory figure. Then, she was filled with endless anger. Unquestionable sword. How dare you deceive me? Unquestionable sword never deceived anyone. The illusory figure's voice was calm. Unquestionable Sword saw that person in the past. It's hard to tell whether he's real or not. Unquestionable Sword never said that he's real. The illusory figure shook the space. He didn't move, but the long sword in front of him instantly exploded with extremely sharp, murderous energy. Buzz! The space was shattered. Zhang Tao's body was bleeding, but he still stood straight. You should know my character. Save him. Otherwise, I won't tell you everything. I was too careless. Unquestionable Sword, whose face could not be seen clearly, had calmed down. I thought it would be safer if I didn't bring her with me. No one would go there. I didn't expect you to find out. Zhang Tao, you've really exceeded my expectations. After saying that, he asked, is she well? She's fine. Zhang Tao smiled. I didn't open the ice coffin. I didn't expect it to be related to you back then. I was just surprised and curious. That's why I brought it back to the human world. After that, I found out more about the ice coffin's origin. The illusory figure did not speak. He looked at him for a while and said lightly, if anything happens to her, I'll destroy the human race. Since she fell into your hands, it's not surprising that you forced me to make a move. Was Zhang Tao a good person? Not really. Internally, he was a hero, a good person, a leader of faith, a king. Externally, he committed all kinds of evil. At this moment, Fang Ping understood. Zhang Tao had dug up Unquestionable Sword's wife's grave and stolen her coffin. He was using it to force Unquestionable Sword to show himself and make a move. This was his backup plan. Was digging up someone's wife's grave something a hero would do? Was using Unquestionable Sword's wife's remains to force Unquestionable Sword to make a move? None of them. However, at this moment, looking at Zhang Tao's calm and unperturbed face, Fang Ping did not know what to feel. No wonder Zhang Tao had waited until now to use this backup plan. Unless it was a desperate situation, Zhang Tao would not want to use this method. Family members should not be harmed. This was the core values of the martial artists. Braving life and death and fighting to the end, martial artists, even evil sects, rarely harm family members. Because this was the real bottom line, the bottom line of humanity. However, at this moment, Zhang Tao had broken this bottom line. Not only did he harm family members, but a dead person too. While Fang Ping was thinking about this, Unquestionable Sword did not dwell on it anymore. He was a decisive person. Since Zhang Tao had something on him, with Zhang Tao's personality, he would not regret it now. He would not give up on a combat strength like him. He would grasp at any straw that could save him. King Qian. At this moment, Unquestionable Sword looked into the distance and said indifferently, Stop, King Kuan. I've watched enough. Demon Emperor, I'm just passing by. King Qian's voice came and disappeared. Suit yourself. Unquestionable Sword stopped talking to him. He looked at Zhang Tao and said indifferently, I can't help you too much. Some things are beyond my ability. Having said that, Unquestionable Sword looked around, looked at the venerable emperors who were fighting with his long sword, and said indifferently, Tell me where the ice coffin is. I'll help you stop these 6 people. 6 venerable emperors. Stop the 6 venerable emperors and tell him where the ice coffin was. This was his condition. Zhang Tao chuckled and said, All right, but I'll give you some bonus. Those few. Help me kill them. Having said that, he pointed at Fang Ping. At this moment, on Fang Ping's side, Warlord and Zhao Xingwu were resisting the attacks of many powerhouses, including Maple King. At this moment, Maple King did not say anything. He broke through the air and fled, yelling, Lord, save me. Bonus. Yes, it was a bonus. Among the true gods, the strongest Maple King had not reached Emperor level. Unquestionable Sword had killed too many powerhouses like this. In the battle 1,000 years ago, he entered the catacombs and killed countless true kings, including many Emperor-level powerhouses. Just as Maple King fled, Unquestionable Sword's figure flickered and appeared in front of the other 3 in the blink of an eye. The 3 true king powerhouses were terrified. Without saying anything, they fled one after another. Demon Emperor. A person's reputation was like a tree's shadow. The Demon Emperor was a taboo in the catacombs. The catacombs' inheritance was somewhat broken because of the battle 1,000 years ago. The demon emperor entered the catacombs and killed countless ancient powerhouses. At this moment, many people still remembered how he killed people back then. On the other side, Myriad Demon King, Sky Demon King, and the other powerhouses were all roaring in anger. Unquestionable Sword. How dare you show up? Bastard. Unquestionable Sword turned a deaf ear to them. His jade-like palms stretched out, and almost in the blink of an eye, he captured a true king powerhouse. At this moment, the void in the distance seemed like someone was going to break through the air and arrive. However, in the next moment, King Qian's laughter was heard. King Kun, long time no see. Why are you in such a hurry? At this moment, even though they were extremely far away, everyone seemed to have seen this scene. On the sea, two figures stood facing each other. Both of their figures were very illusory. The one who spoke was an old man, who was also King Qian. On the other side was King Kun, the sect leader of the divine sect, the son of the earthly sovereign, one of the 8 kings, and the mastermind behind several wars over the years. King Qian, you want to stop me? No, King Kun, destroying the human world now is different from what we discussed back then. Destroy the human world? I'm just killing some people who are blocking my way. How can the human world be destroyed so easily? The two of them spoke, but did not make a move. King Kun also stopped breaking through the void to move forward. At this moment, the Demon Emperor did not seem surprised, nor did he care. He grabbed a true king with one hand and said indifferently, "Those who are weak should have this kind of awareness. The weak should not participate in these things. Why can't these people understand?" His palm slowly descended. It had the charm of heavenly Varchjan's attack previously. There was not a strong energy wave, and it was calm. Boom! With a loud explosion, the true king who was running away was smashed into pieces. Fong Ping did not see what happened at Imperial Sea Mountain. Otherwise, he would have made a judgment. The Demon Emperor was not as strong as Heavenly the Archon. His strength had not penetrated into the origin. Even so, Fong Ping was shocked at this moment. He was too close to him. The Demon Emperor was almost right under his nose. He attacked calmly and killed a true king instantly with his extremely powerful strength. Although he did not kill emperors like Moon Spirit, when he killed true gods, he did not cause too much of a commotion. The Demon Emperor did not care about him. He stretched out his hand again and attacked the second person. It was none other than the Maple King. At this moment, 2 big hands appeared in the void behind the Maple King. Unquestionable Jian, are you going to kill my peoples? The Sky Plant King's voice was cold and unafraid. Unquestionable Jian saw this and did not speak. The big hands disappeared and appeared behind the other 2 in the blink of an eye. He did not want to fight with the 2 true kings. He had already promised Zhang Tao to fight against the 6 emperors. There was no need to fight with the 2 true kings for a nobody. Ah! 2 screams were heard. The 2 true kings were no match for the Demon Emperor. This person might also have the strength of a heavenly king. The weakest true god could only be considered as a true god. There was a difference of 1,000 meters and 100,000 meters. As soon as Unquestionable Jin attacked, he killed the 3 true king powerhouses almost instantly. The next moment, the Demon Emperor turned his head and looked at Fong Ping and Warlord. "Uncle," Unquestionable Jin's voice was calm. "I'm afraid you've recovered some of your memories, right? You recognized Yun, right?" Zhang Tao knew that Unquestionable Jin's wife was in the ice coffin. Warlord must have contributed a lot. Warlord's expression was complicated. He said in a low voice, "Yes. Forget it, uncle. Our relationship in the past. Today, let's end it here." Unquestionable Jin murmured. The Demon Emperor had chosen a human. Now, he was Warlord, the warlord of the human race. He was not Unquestionable Jin's uncle. After saying that, he looked at Fong Ping. "Tell Azure Cat that humans are humans and demons are demons. Humans have feelings. Demons should have no feelings. Why bother yourself?" After saying that, Unquestionable Jin did not speak again. He disappeared and appeared in front of the 6 life king powerhouses in the blink of an eye. "I haven't fought for many years. Come and fight with me." Unquestionable Jian held the long sword in his hand. He was calm from the beginning, except when he was a little emotional when he just came out. Just when Fang Ping was still thinking about what he said just now, Zhang Tao's voice rang in his ears. Why are you still standing there? Break out of the encirclement, retreat. Before he finished speaking, Zhang Tao exploded and charged into the crowd. At this moment, the other human powerhouses did not bother him anymore. They fought and retreated at the same time. Stop them! Life King roared. He did not expect Unquestionable Jian to appear and help King Wu's side. No, maybe Unquestionable Jian did not want to help anyone. He just did not expect King Wu to dig up his wife's grave and steal her body. As soon as he finished shouting, Unquestionable Jian chopped off his head with his sword. He said indifferently, "How dare you be distracted when you are fighting with me? Do you really think King Jin can save you?" After saying that, Unquestionable Jian made his move again. His palm was small, but this time, he grabbed the Celestial Demon King's sharp claw. Sparks flew everywhere. With a crack, the Golden Rock's claw was broken. Compared to 1,000 years ago, Celestial Demon King, you don't seem to have improved much. Unquestionable Jian was indifferent. 1,000 years ago, the Celestial Demon King was the Demon King who protected the royal court. He had fought with him before. However, this Demon King did not seem to have improved in the past 1,000 years. Demon King! The Celestial Demon King roared in anger. You are actually still alive? Unquestionable Jian smiled faintly and didn't reply. At this moment, Heavenly King Jin suddenly appeared from the void in the distance. He punched out a huge tunnel and shouted, "Retreat!" As soon as he said that, King Sun and King Jin appeared and wanted to break the tunnel. Heavenly King Jin snorted and dragged the two of them into the crack in the void again. At this moment, Zhang Tao's Book of Great Tao appeared again. At this moment, the Luofu Mountain Venerable, Huatongshan Venerable, and Void Mausoleum Grotto Heaven Venerable made their moves. Just stay here. You are not qualified, Zhang Tao shouted. His body shone with golden light, and his aura increased rapidly. Retreat now. I will cover you. Zhang Tao's battle prowess increased. As the masters of the 10 Grotto Heavens, Luofu Mountain Venerable was extremely powerful. However, the three of them were still trapped by the Book of Great Tao. Tianji, Tianming. Seeing the two kings about to attack, Zhang Tao shouted angrily, "Once the humans are eliminated, you will be next, idiots. Are you really going to stop me?" The two kings didn't speak. Their eyes flickered as if they were thinking about something. At this moment, the two kings suddenly attacked, not Zhang Tao, but Li Zhu. Li Zhu suddenly appeared behind Zhang Tao. He shook his head slightly and said with a smile, "This world is really messy." He wanted to kill King Wu, but the two kings were protecting him. Wasn't the world messy enough? Zhang Tao was slightly shocked. He sensed Li Zhu's arrival, but Li Zhu was too fast. He didn't break the space, but teleported. Zhang Tao didn't have time to fight back against the three emperors. Fortunately, the two kings seemed to have thought of something and attacked. Tianming Monarch and Tianji Monarch attacked Li Zhu at the same time. The space around them kept collapsing like a black hole. The whole ground had disappeared and was still expanding. Li Zhu chuckled and said, "Two kings, when there are more living people and experts, the situation will be chaotic. Some people who needed to be killed still had to be killed. Why bother?" Then, Li Zhu thrust his palm, which collided with the two kings' palms and disappeared in the void. The two kings both frowned. Li Zhu was really powerful. He might not have reached the Heavenly King level, but his strength should be comparable to theirs. Besides, who knew if Li Zhu had hidden his strength? Li Zhu shook his head again and laughed. His mind energy fluctuated. At this moment, an unexpected scene occurred once again. Many experts of the divine sect were fighting against the experts of Wangwu Mountain. But when Li Zhu's mind energy fluctuated, 4 or 5 true gods suddenly attacked their companions. This scene shocked everyone. Rumble, no! How dare you betray the divine sect? As the experts of the divine sect screamed, several experts of the divine sect died on the spot. After killing their companions, these people didn't even look back as they quickly flew away. The people of Wanwu Mountain were stunned. What was this? It was not over yet. Almost at the same time, people from the catacombs, humans, and overseas immortal islands rose and killed their companions. Fong Ping, who was escaping with the warlord, saw an unbelievable scene. On the human side, among the experts who were bathed in blood, a top expert from the pantheon of gods had betrayed them. Under his companions' disbelieving gazes, he destroyed their golden body with one strike. On the human side, there was also a traitor, Chaos. In the distance, Li Zhu was still smiling faintly. But when he saw that only one person from the human side attacked, he shook his head slightly and sighed. Thunder King, is the agreement invalid? On the human side, a square-faced powerhouse was fighting with all his might. As if he was controlling lightning, he smashed a true king's body with one strike. Seeing that the elders of Stellar Sky City quickly dodged, the Thunder King said coldly, "I said to help you kill Li Xuanxie, not the others." Thunder King, the suppressing heavenly king, is not that easy to kill. Li Zhu shook his head and smiled. There are not enough dead people. Make it more chaotic. As soon as he said that, 4 or 5 of the dozen true kings who had just betrayed the second king suddenly attacked and killed their companions. Chaos. Complete chaos. At this moment, almost no one dared to believe the people around them. The powerhouses of the second kings were a little surprised. How did Li Zhu do it? Li Zhu was still calm. Even when he saw the traitors being surrounded and killed by the powerhouses, he did not help. He just smiled and said, "Since ancient times, there is no need to do that. After so many battles, there are still so many true gods and venerable emperors left. Why bother? Too many powerhouses. It was not good. Too many people could easily make the situation chaotic. If that was the case, then more people should die. Today, almost 100 true gods had died. But today, more than 300 true gods had participated in the battle. More than 40 venerable emperors. So many people, it was not good to be in a mess. P.S. There is an official chicken dinner event tonight, but it should not delay writing, because the eagle died very quickly. Everyone can rest assured. M. Chapter 999. Li Zhu. The two kings were enraged. There were too many accidents today, which made the two kings extremely angry. First, the king's battlefield was blown up and true gods were injured or killed. Then, Moon Spirit caused trouble for them without saying a word. The trouble wasn't over yet. In the blink of an eye, Li Zhu had people rebel. And it wasn't just one side. How did Li Zhu do it? It was still possible to plant spies in a faction. But Li Zhu had made many arrangements and planted spies. This was surprising. And why did Li Zhu do this? It wasn't good for him. At this moment, his people were being surrounded and killed. Some people had already died, but Li Zhu didn't seem to care. Rumble, heaven and earth overturned. The entire sky began to crack, and a torrential rain of blood poured down. Li Zhu looked on coldly and didn't say anything. On the other side, Zhang Tao didn't care about them. At this moment, he was covering the retreat for the humans. As for the one who rebelled, he was quickly killed by his furious comrades. A top traitor had appeared on the human side. This was beyond everyone's expectations. Because humans were weak, they had always been trying to survive. Unexpectedly, there was still an accident today. As for the Thunder King and the Shao family's patriarch, no one knew what agreement they had made with Li Zhu. But just as the war kings were furious, Heavenly King Jin appeared in the distance and sighed. "Never mind. Ignore him. Old Shao, there's no need to involve a third party in our feud." The Shao family's patriarch glanced at him and didn't say anything. The next moment, he suddenly exploded and sent the true king flying with one strike. He snorted coldly. "Everyone, don't worry. I only have a feud with Li Xuanxie. It has nothing to do with you." Then he didn't care about the looks of the people around him and continued to fight. His combat strength was extremely strong, and he was also a near emperor-level expert. But everyone still didn't understand. Why would he have a feud with Heavenly King Jin? One had to know that Heavenly King Zhen had fought one against two Heavenly Kings. Even if both sides didn't use their full strength, Heavenly King Zhen's combat strength was still terrifying. In this situation, if there really was a deep feud, wouldn't Heavenly King Zhen have already killed him? Everyone didn't understand, but since Heavenly King Zhen had said so, the Shao family's patriarch indeed didn't attack anyone else. Even if everyone was still on guard, they didn't mention it. Enough people had died today. On the human side, 12 impasse realm experts had already fallen at this moment. Over at the catacombs, of the 8 people who had rebelled earlier, 2 had left. Of the remaining 6 people, 1 had died in battle. In just one battle, they had lost 13 experts. At this time, if the Shao clan's old ancestor, a near Emperor stage powerhouse, rebelled, the humans would not be able to bear it. Although the War King was a little annoyed, he couldn't care less at this moment. He shouted, "Retreat! Everyone retreat! As long as we don't die, we will take revenge sooner or later." Retreat! The experts of the 6 holy lands roared. Most of the leaders were dead. At this moment, they also respected King Wu as the human king and naturally listened to his arrangements. Everyone fought endlessly, killing their way into the spatial passage. The situation became even more chaotic. Today was a chaotic battle. Everyone was killing each other. No one knew why they were killing each other. Seeing that the rest of the humans were about to retreat, Ming Wang roared again. "Are you really going to let them go?" At this moment, there were still people who had yet to make a move. Apart from some rebellions, the overseas Immortal Islands and the 2 Kings People's foundations had not been shaken. As for beyond Avalon, the few heavenly emperors who had cooperated with the humans had not made a move yet. They were all going to make a move. With so many venerable emperors, the humans would not be able to escape this disaster. At this moment, Zhang Tao trapped the 3 venerable emperors of the territories and shouted, "Humans only want to survive. Everyone, if you make a move, the humans will be destroyed. But everyone think carefully. Even if you die, you won't be able to get away with it." Although Zhang Tao was severely injured, he was still domineering in this moment. He shouted, "The catacombs have killed enough today. Whoever dares to make a move, the humans will self-destruct and kill the enemies. Whoever makes a move first will be killed." There were powerhouses from the overseas Immortal Islands and beyond Avalon. Who would dare to make the first move? Ming Wang shouted again, "If we don't kill them, they will be punished one by one sooner or later." Everyone, do you really not understand? At this point, if they did not kill the human powerhouses, would these people not take revenge? These people might lose the land of rebirth this time and hide in the dark, waiting for revenge. If that happened, they would not be able to eat or sleep in peace. At the same time, Moon Spirit seemed to have sobered up. She shouted, "Fong Ping, you are not allowed to leave." Fong Ping stopped in his tracks. It was over. This crazy woman still remembered this. Despite his worries, Fong Ping said quickly, "Let's retreat first. The Venerable Emperor can find me after the battle." The Venerable Emperor promised 10 people. Now we are still short of 3. It won't be too late to tell the Venerable Emperor after killing 3 more. Moon Spirit snorted coldly and said no more. The monk could run, but the temple could not. Moreover, she did not plan to let Fong Ping escape. She would just follow him. Since she had promised to kill 10 people, she would kill a few more later. When she had collected 10 heads, she would find Fong Ping. Everyone retreated as they fought. The space passageway was very turbulent. On the other side of the passageway was Capital City's Imperial Sea Mountain. Going through Capital City's catacombs and then going to Forbidden Ocean was also a plan that had been set before. Killing. There were constant killings and more people died. There were powerhouses from all sides. Humans, catacombs, overseas, Immortal Islands, people from the Second King. At this moment, all sides were in chaos. At the same time, in Zhang Tao's arms, the bead where the gate of all beings was located was shining. At this moment, it also attracted many people's attention. The gate of all beings seemed to be reacting as more and more people died. On the divine sect side, the few apologists were also a little surprised. Was it going to absorb the Tao? Zhang Tao seemed to be surprised too. He did not say anything, but looked in the direction of Forbidden Ocean. No one said anything. The venerable emperors from overseas immortal islands still did not attack. However, no one left at this time. They were all waiting and following. The catacombs and humans were in a killing frenzy. Both sides had lost the most people. So did Mount Wangwu and the Divine Sect. These four forces were all extremely powerful. At this moment, everyone could not wait to see more of them die. It was a pity that the second king and Li Zhu did not fight again. This made everyone feel a little regretful. These two forces were also very powerful. If they fought, there would be heavy casualties. That would be better. The battlefield was moving. Under the protection of Warlord, Fang Ping also kept unleashing his power. He carried the divine weapon and killed into the true king's Dao. Even if he could not kill the other party, he could still buy time and rescue some human powerhouses. However, in this way, the consumption of wealth was also huge. Very soon, Fang Ping's wealth was almost depleted. At this time, both sides had also fought from one side of the passageway to the other side. Mount Imperial Sea was already in front of them. At the back, Zhang Tao was still entangled with a few venerable emperors. Unquestionable Jin led a group of life kings and followed while fighting. It was quite easy, but he did not intend to help anymore. He just followed. He also wanted to see what else Zhang Tao and the others could do. At this stage of the battle, it was not as if they wanted to retreat. The catacombs powerhouses who were in a killing frenzy were also not afraid of death at this time. Their combat power was 2-1. The humans were getting weaker as they fought. Unless they all disappeared into thin air, otherwise, even if they retreated, there was no place that was safe. Rumble! Mount Imperial Sea was here. At this moment, the battle between the powerhouses made Mount Imperial Sea shake. From Mount Imperial Sea to the Forbidden Sea was more than 2,000 li. Usually, 2,000 li was not far for the peak. But now, it was out of reach. More and more humans were seriously injured. Even if Zhang Tao blocked some powerhouses, it did not help. At this moment, in the distance, someone laughed and said, "I'm here." Wu Chuan took the lead. He was covered in blood and his aura was weak. But he laughed and said, "Wu Chuan is here. Today, I killed 2 true gods. How delightful." Behind him, Kong Lingyuan, who was also seriously injured, was somewhat speechless. "Did you kill them?" The first one was killed by Wang Jintao and the others. The second one was killed by everyone, especially Kong Lingyuan, who risked his life to trap the other party. Only then did he put in all his effort to kill the other party. Wu Chuan had the cheek to say that. Wu Chuan did not care about him. He rushed over quickly and attacked a true king without saying a word. In the end, he shouted loudly. Once they exchanged blows, he was sent flying and vomited blood in less than 2 moves. Wu Chuan did not care and went forward to fight again. Behind him, Zhang Tao and the 3 venerable emperors of the boundary were also fighting. Golden blood dripped all over the void. These powerhouses were killing until their eyes were blood red. At this moment, another 3 figures rushed over quickly. "Fang Ping!" Wang Jinyang shouted. Fang Ping's expression changed when he saw the situation. Why did these guys come? There were a lot of people who wanted to kill them now. They all thought that these guys were reincarnations of extreme path heavenly emperors. They had finally killed 2 true gods. They should be hiding. Were they not here to cause trouble? Fang Ping was puzzled, but Yao Qingjuan's voice quickly rang in his ears. "Let's join forces and merge our auras. It's similar to a combined combat technique. If the 4 of us join forces, we can fight a true god." Fang Ping's gaze moved slightly. Could it be done? He had never tried it before. "Fang Ping, hurry up. The 3 of us will integrate our strength into the divine weapon. You'll be in charge of replenishing and repairing your golden body. Your golden body is stronger than Iron Head. You can do it." Fang Ping was the most powerful healer. Moreover, his golden body and mentality were much stronger than Iron Head's. With Fang Ping as the leader, even without the lingering will to fight, the strength of the 4 would not be too weak. Fang Ping's strength was close to the impasse realm. Integrating the three's strength should make him stronger. In addition to the divine weapon, he would be even stronger. Under such circumstances, the consumption was huge. However, Fong Ping could replenish it. This also made up for his shortcomings. Fong Ping took a quick look at his own data. He did not know how long he could maintain the three's aura transformation wealth. 500 million points vitality, 219,999 calories, 219,999 calories, mentality, 10,455 Hz, 104,555 Hz, separable consciousness entity, destructive power, 85 yuan, origin, stage 1, increase 9% plus 30% storage space, 10,000 cubic meters plus energy shield, 1 point/minute plus aura simulation, 10 point/minute plus, including the 4 of them. He only needed to switch his and the other two's auras. His own conversion was fixed. Adding 2 people, it would only be 1,000 points per minute. The wealth needed to convert auras was not much. However, if he really integrated the strength of 4 people, what he needed to do was to repair his flesh, repair his mentality, replenish his vitality and energy. In addition to the battle consumption, the consumption would not be low. If he entered the true God's origin path and severed the Tao, the consumption would be even higher. Previously, Fong Ping had used up a lot of more than 2 billion wealth points to sever the true God's Tao. However, at this moment, Fong Ping also hated that he did not have true ultimate combat strength. Hearing Yao Qingjuan's continued narration, he did not think anymore and quickly closed in on them. Although Warlord did not know what those brats were doing here, he was still trying his best to stop the enemy. He even sent a voice transmission to Fong Ping. "You guys retreat." Fong Ping ignored him. He closed in and quickly concealed the 4 people's auras. Concealing the 4 people's auras also consumed 1,000 wealth points per minute. Fong Ping did not care about this. This was still necessary. There might be a surprise later. Those fellows might not expect him to suddenly become stronger. He concealed their auras, then quickly changed everyone's auras, disguising them as old Wang's origin aura. Wang Jinyang and the others looked at each other, no longer hesitating. Just like before, Wang Jinyang quickly turned into vitality and integrated into the longbow. Yao Qingjun also turned into a gush of mentality and integrated into the god-killing spear. Li Hansong was stunned for a moment. Then, the armor suddenly floated up and quickly covered Fong Ping. Very soon, however, Li Hansong said with an innocent look, "I don't think I can do it. My head can't integrate with the divine weapon. Fong Ping, make do." At this moment, the armor was a little strange. Li Hansong's head popped out where the arm used to be. Li Hansong said gloomily, "How did they do it? If they can integrate everything into the divine weapon, why can't I?" If his head could not integrate, then he had no other choice. He could only make space for Fong Ping and let his head grow on the arm first. Fong Ping was also stunned. Even though the situation was tense, he did not know whether to laugh or cry. What was this? However, since things had come to this, he did not say anything. At this moment, Fong Ping suddenly felt that his physique was growing rapidly. The armor seemed to be constantly providing him with strength, making his physique stronger. Fong Ping grabbed the God of War bow and the god-killing spear. Similarly, 2 gush of energy integrated into his body. It was a very strange feeling. Although the energy was different, at this moment, everyone's energy seemed to be born from the same source and began to integrate. Fong Ping had not really considered this before. Now that he felt such a change, he suddenly realized something. Could it be that he could do this more often in the future? It did not have to be old Wang and the others. He could also change the aura of the others. Could he integrate them all? However, thinking about it, the others might not be able to bring him an increase in strength. It's very powerful. Fong Ping's physique was also a little cracked, but it was not like Iron Head earlier, who could not hold on for a while. While Fong Ping's golden body was cracking, it was also constantly repairing. A large amount of imperishable substance emerged. At this moment, Fong Ping felt that he had become much stronger. Originally, his maximum strength was as high as 600,000 calories under all kinds of enhancements. At this moment, it was at least 30% stronger. He truly possessed the strength of a weak true god, comparable to a rank 9's 800,000 vitality. Being at the peak of a weak true god could not change anything. But he still had divine weapons in his hands. Not just one, but a lot of them this time. Moreover, Old Wang's bow was a long-range attack divine weapon. Hide your aura. Shoot them to death. Fong Ping's eyes were bright. He knew what he had to do. Could these guys expect that he had the strength of a true god now? If they did not go all out to defend, it would not be surprising if he shot them to death. At the thought of this, Fong Ping dared not delay. Time was tight. He should also put in some effort. Fong Ping did not utter a word. He knocked the bow, using the god-destroying spear as an arrow, aiming at one person in an instant. With a low growl, he pulled the longbow to the fullest, shooting an arrow at a relatively weaker true king powerhouse in the crowd. The long arrow made a piercing sound, but it still did not reveal any aura. In such a chaotic situation, the piercing sound was all too normal. The powerhouse who was fighting heard the piercing sound coming from behind him, but there was no overflow of aura, so he did not pay much attention to it. Even if he was affected by the aftermath, it would not hurt him. However, at this moment, a powerhouse beside him shouted, "Be careful." Be careful? This person had already felt the piercing sound behind his head, but there was no need to be careful, right? Could it be that the back of his head was hit by a Mount Yuhai stone that splashed out? Only this kind of stone could not be destroyed by the people present and be splashed out. This person had just had this thought when his expression changed drastically in the next moment. Danger! A sense of crisis. He was just about to dodge, but it was too late. He, who did not pay enough attention earlier, could not dodge at this moment. The god-destroying spear was right behind his head. Kaboom! An explosive sound was heard. On the long spear, a vitality outburst that belonged to the extreme intensity of the power erupted. This spear shot out and directly blasted the other party's head into pieces. Not only that, just as the other party's mentality was revealed, Yao Qingjuan's silhouette appeared on the god-destroying spear. The long spear instantly turned invisible, and a spear shot struck the mentality illusory body. How can this be? Even at this moment, this person was extremely shocked. How could there be such a sudden burst of powerful energy? There was no time for him to think. The long spear hit, an outburst of mentality of more than 10,000 hertz. A regular true god's mentality was only around 10,000 hertz. Fong Ping's mentality and Yao Qingjuan's fusion, together with the god-destroying spear. The strength of a regular true god's mentality was not as strong as theirs. This time, the other party's head exploded. How could he have any remaining strength to resist? Crack! A crisp sound was heard, and the mentality illusory body was shattered instantly. Many people were stunned by this scene. At the back, Life King and the rest who were entangled with unquestionable Jian saw this scene. Life King suddenly roared, "Kill Fong Ping. He can change his aura. This is a special kind of joint attack combat technique. Kill him." A powerhouse's vision was still very sharp. As soon as Fong Ping made his move, they roughly guessed it. The joint attack combat technique might be unfamiliar to humans, but to them, it was not unfamiliar at all. Fong Ping was actually the embodiment of a different kind of joint attack combat technique. However, Fong Ping's fusion was more thorough, unlike Qi Huanyu and the rest, who were still repelled. Qi Huanyu integrated the strength of some Heaven's Mandate soldiers and could already greatly increase his strength, let alone Fong Ping. Fong Ping's was the kind that was completely integrated. Not only did Life King see this, but he also saw something else. Not only him, but many people also saw it. Divine weapon, god-destroying spear, victory bow. That's Emperor armor. At this moment, some of the Emperor-level powerhouses around also recognized it. A few of the ancient emperors' eyes were red. Were they really the reincarnations of the four emperors? Did they really carry divine weapons? This scene made Zhang Tao feel helpless. These guys were just causing trouble. Run! Zhang Tao roared. Why aren't you running? Wait for these people to kill you. When Fong Ping heard that, He also did not say another word. He broke through the air and fled. While fleeing, he roared, "I have 4 or 5 divine weapons here. If you want them, come. I'm not strong enough. I'm easy to kill, but I can run." As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping relied on the strength of emperor armor and his strong physique and directly crossed Mount Royal Sea. When he was killing people, he had already considered the possibility of people recognizing the divine weapons. However, at this time, hiding was useless. If he could lure away many emperors, it would also be a help to humans. It was time for him to use his old skills. Previously, he did not dare to do it, and he could not do it because he was weak and not fast enough. It was very easy to be caught. However, now, as long as he escaped to the Forbidden Sea, he could conceal his aura and hide in the sea. These guys might not be able to find him. Fong Ping roared, then laughed loudly. I forgot to mention, I still have the 4 Emperor's combat technique inheritance. Old Cat even gave me a few sets of Emperor's lost techniques. Come on, you bunch of old farts. Are you crazy about becoming emperors? Come and snatch them. When these words came out, it really made people jealous. How strong was Fong Ping's strength? Even with that kind of strength just now, he had barely reached true god level. Killing Zhang Tao, killing humans, killing countless people for what? It was to become an emperor. However, if they killed Fong Ping and snatched the divine weapons, with the 4 Emperor's Path and the Emperor's Path, they might be able to directly become an emperor. As for whether they believed it or not, they believed it. There was no other reason. Fong Ping was inhumanly strong. He was a martial artist who had just stepped into Origin not long ago. Many true gods had died in his hands. There was definitely something strange about this kid. Moreover, at this moment, there were clearly 4 divine weapons in his hands. In the next moment, on the overseas Immortal Island side, several emperors directly broke the void and chased after Fong Ping. On the Grandmaster's side, the few celestial emperors who did not participate in the battle were the celestial emperors who cooperated with humans. At this moment, seeing the situation, they thought that they were in a dilemma and hesitated. It was better to go to Fong Ping's side and take a look first. Perhaps there would be gains. This time, these 6 emperors also did not say a word, broke the void, and went straight to Fong Ping. More than 10 emperors directly chased after Fong Ping. Not only that, Celestial Emperor Chong Rong roared, no longer caring about his dragon transformation, blasted a passage, and quickly chased after Fong Ping. Celestial Emperor Ping Yu laughed, glanced at Zhang Tao and the others, thought for a while, and also fought with Gong Zhuanzi, rushing over there. Many people were dumbfounded by the scene, especially the catacombs powerhouses. They were a little dumbfounded. This was not a similar scene. Previously, in the few times when the war between the catacombs and humans broke out, there seemed to be a large number of powerhouses chasing after Fong Ping. Now, they were clearly encircling and annihilating all humans, but now more than 10 emperors were chasing after him. Not only these people, but Moon Spirit also shouted angrily, abandoned the 2 great sect masters, and quickly ran over there. Her husband's remains were still with Fong Ping. Now that Fong Ping had concealed his aura and ran away, she might not be able to find Fong Ping when she turned back. As for killing the 2 great sect masters, they could talk about it later. Moon Spirit ran away. Venerable Emperor Qing Tong smiled and also took a step back, no longer fighting with the 2 sect masters. He looked at Zhang Tao, then looked at Fong Ping, and finally chose Fong Ping. It was easier to take advantage of Fong Ping than Zhang Tao. After the 2 of them left, the 3 great sect masters were just about to encircle Zhang Tao when Moon Spirit appeared again. She shouted angrily, raised one hand to the sky, and rushed over, shouting, "Leave with me." There was no other reason. Mount Wanwu was still fighting with their people. Although Moon Spirit did not care about the life and death of those maidservants, these people were still useful. Moreover, she could kill her people, but these people were not qualified. How could she not take the 3 great sect masters away? The 3 great sect masters were furious, but Moon Spirit attacked them crazily, forcing them to fight with Fong Ping. The 2 leaders ran away. The people of Mount Wanwu and the divine sect looked at each other, this time with great tacit understanding. They all chased in that direction. At this time, among the two kings, Sky Plant King also smiled faintly. Instead of watching the show here, why don't we go over there and have a look? Maybe it will be more interesting. After saying that, he waved his hand, wrapped the true gods under his command, and chased after Fong Ping. Not only them, but the Dragon Emperor also roared. Fong Ping was the person that the cat said he wanted to protect. Now that Fong Ping had left, he had to follow and have a look. Therefore, the Dragon Emperor also quickly led his opponents away. The situation that was extremely chaotic just now became clear in an instant. At this moment, except for Li Zhu, who was still standing high in the sky, the rest were MO when fighting 6 emperors with his sword, Zhang Tao fighting 3 emperors, and the humans and the catacombs fighting. Zhang Tao seemed a little sluggish. How could this work? If he knew this would happen, he might as well let Fong Ping come alone and bring everyone to run toward the trap. Maybe he could make them all fall into the trap directly. Since when did his ability to pull monsters become so strong? Zhang Tao laughed bitterly in his heart. He also knew that it was related to his side. The catacombs and humans were fighting too fiercely, and a large number of ultimate kings had fallen. These people could not understand the situation at the moment and did not want to get involved, so they went to find Fong Ping. But no matter what, it was a fact that Fong Ping took away more than half of the powerhouses in one go. Zhang Tao was still thinking about this. In the distance, Fong Ping cursed. Motherf asterisk cur. So many people. I'm only a rank 9. Do I need them? At this moment, Fong Ping felt like his liver was going to explode. Weren't there only a few? Why were there almost 100 powerhouses auras behind him? He could not outrun an emperor level. Forget an emperor level. Even a slightly stronger true god could not outrun them. At this moment, Fong Ping really wished he could grow a few more legs. His only advantage was that right now he could blast the void and escape through the rift. Fong Ping, who had restrained his aura, escaped into the rift. These people did not know which direction he ran to, unless he ran out of the rift. Even so, those emperor levels were getting closer and closer, even starting to bombard him from a distance. At this moment, in the capital city catacombs, an unbelievable scene played out. A fellow in armor with 2 heads was strong, but he was being hunted down by hundreds of powerhouses who were stronger than him. Some of the catacombs powerhouses had only heard of one person who had the ability to attract hatred. Fong Ping from the land of rebirth. Every time this fellow appeared in the catacombs, it was almost the same scene. Chapter 1000. Fong Ping. A sharp scream rang out. Li Hansong shook his head frantically and roared, "I didn't tell you to lure these guys. We came to find you because we wanted to make you stronger and kill 1 or 2 true gods. I didn't ask you to lure over 100 experts to chase after you." He was terrified. Behind them, the auras that pierced through the heavens and the earth shook the entire capital city catacombs. In just a short while, the ordinary people in the catacombs were probably all dead. These experts were not interested in restraining their auras. At a time of war, who would care about those ordinary catacombs people? As these people entered the capital city catacombs, it could be said that this day was directly annihilated. Too many. 1 or 2 of them might not be able to destroy the capital city catacombs or destroy an entire outer domain, but now there were more than 1 or 2 of them. Fong Ping scolded loudly. "Nonsense. You brought a divine weapon here. How can you not be tempting? You should have considered this when you made your move, yet you're still making sarcastic remarks now. Do you believe that I won't move your head behind your back and let you shout all you want? 4 divine weapons. Just this alone was enough to drive those emperor-ranked experts crazy." Fong Ping was holding a god-slaying saber. Many people were staring at him. Now the long-range divine weapon, the god of war bow, the spiritual divine weapon, the god-destroying spear, and the defensive divine weapon, the arch armor, not to mention the close combat divine weapon, the god-slaying saber. If an overlord ranker were to obtain it, their strength would instantly skyrocket. At that moment, a rumbling sound came from Fong Ping's back. Fong Ping spat out a mouthful of blood, feeling as if his entire body was about to explode. An overlord was attacking him. Although he had the protection of the divine armor, he still couldn't hold on. Fong Ping yelled in fear, "You can't kill me. If I die, there will be no news of the prince, and the 4 emperors will lose their battle techniques. They can capture me alive." At this moment, the entire world fell silent. He had never heard of such a request when being hunted, but when he thought about it, it did make sense. At this moment, Moon's spirit also roared, "Who dares to kill him? If he killed Fong Ping, where would he find his remains?" Just like Zhang Tao, who knew if Fong Ping had kept the remains in his storage ring. Even if he did, who knew if it would be destroyed in the end? At this moment, the several venerable sovereigns who were chasing him in the front restrained themselves a little. Capturing this brat alive was enough. The difference between killing and capturing an emperor-level being was not great. The attacks from the back weakened slightly, giving Fong Ping a chance to catch his breath. However, in the next moment, Fong Ping could no longer remain calm. The enemy was getting closer and closer. These Emperor-class experts directly tore through space and chased after him. One step was 1,000 miles. Of course, not every Emperor ranked could accurately control it, especially over short distances, as it was more likely to have deviations. After a few deviations, Fong Ping managed to escape from their clutches. However, these people gradually surrounded Fong Ping. In front of him, there were even Emperor Venerable Realm Masters who had opened up a passage and were waiting for him to walk into their trap. Fong Ping's face was full of helplessness. With such a huge gap in strength, it was hard to escape. What else could he do now? I can't go on like this. I'll be caught sooner or later. I'm afraid I won't be able to run to the Forbidden Sea. Li Hansong quickly said, dig a hole, and run. They don't dare to be too ruthless. What if they beat you to death? Don't block it. Dig a hole. Fong Ping almost cursed it out loud. I have peak level strength now, and you want me to dig a hole? I dug a hole from rank 3 to rank 7 or 8. It's not easy for me to stop digging now, and you want me to continue digging now? It's useless. There are almost no obstacles on the ground for them. Didn't you restrain your aura? Li Hansong was anxious. There were people in front. Dig a hole quickly. Fong Ping was also anxious. In the next moment, he fell directly to the ground, roaring, "Don't attack randomly, or I'll be killed and there'll be nothing left." As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping dove into the ground in the blink of an eye. With his current strength, even if it was steel in front of him, it would be easily melted and shattered. Fong Ping disappeared into the ground, no longer breathing. The few Emperor Venerable Realm Masters frowned slightly, then shook their heads one after another. At this moment, one of the Emperor Venerable Realm Masters laughed and said, "Isn't Fong Ping looking down on us too much? I'm afraid even neo-martial artists don't have this kind of insight." At this moment, one of the Emperor Venerable Realm Masters laughed, then let out a low roar and slammed his palm down. The ground within a radius of more than 10 li collapsed directly in an instant, the soil disappearing without a trace. On the other side, one of the Emperor Venerable Realm Masters stomped his foot lightly. The collapsed ground immediately shook continuously. Bang, bang, bang. A large number of hard objects were squeezed out. At the same time, Fong Ping was also covered in dust, directly squeezed out by the compressed ground. Fong Ping scolded the head on his arm. "You said to dig a hole, and I did. What about now?" These Emperor Venerable Realm Masters were indeed not comparable to his previous enemies. If he attacked casually, digging a hole would become a joke. Before these people landed on the ground, Fong Ping was squeezed out. He had no choice but to come out. The surrounding soil vibrated like ultrasound. If he did not come out, it would be even more abnormal, and he would be discovered instantly. Li Hansong was speechless now. He smiled bitterly and said, "Then just wait to be caught." He could not escape. His ability to attract monsters was strong, but Fong Ping could not escape. There was no other way. No matter how fast they were still less than 100 li away from Mount Imperial Sea. They were still close to a boundary of 2,000 li away from the Forbidden Sea. not 2,000 li, at most 100 li, and Fong Ping would be surrounded by hundreds of powerhouses in the center like a monkey. Fong Ping was not the only one in danger. It was the same on Zhang Tao's side. Fong Ping only lured away those powerhouses who were not sure if they wanted to fight with humans or not. Those who should have attacked had attacked, but these people did not leave. At this moment, Zhang Tao was fighting 1 against 3. He was at a disadvantage, but the danger was not too great. The humans, however, could not hold on any longer, even with the betrayal of King Hua and the others. In addition to the original 50 over Desperation Realms, there were close to 60 powerhouses. However, at this moment, there were only about 40 people left. More and more powerhouses were dying. Of course, the catacomb side suffered even more losses. There were barely 100 people, maybe not even. More than 180 catacombs powerhouses, many had died. Some of them had defected to the humans. More than 10 had defected to the 2 kings, and a few had defected to Li Zhu. In other words, there were less than 120 who had survived. The rest, almost all of them, were dead. About 60 true kings had died in battle. The humans had also paid an extremely heavy price. There were even 6 near-emperor powerhouses who had died. This was after Moon Spirit and the rest had killed many. Zhang Tao had killed many earlier, and Fong Ping had plotted against many. In fact, many human powerhouses were not able to kill people at all. 1 against 2, or even 1 against 3, they were already strong enough not to be killed. Killing people was not that simple. At this moment, someone shouted, "Zhang Tao, let's go. Take the gate of all beings and leave. They can't stop you. We'll fight them to the death." If Zhang Tao did not participate in the team battle, he could still survive by himself and escape to the Forbidden Ocean. As for the cat's trap, after Zhang Tao escaped and they had all died in battle, it might be effective when activated. As for whether it could trap these people or not, it would all depend on luck. Zhang Tao did not speak. Escape? If he left these people behind, even if he trapped those powerhouses, what could he do? Sooner or later, they would break through the stronghold and walk out. When that time came, could the humans rely on a few people to resist the future crisis? Therefore, he could not give up on these people. Some of them dying in battle had already caused great damage to the vitality of the humans. If they were all dead, could he fight all the enemies alone? At this moment, unquestionable Jian said calmly, "Zhang Tao, hand over the ice coffin. I promise you, I'll help you take a few people away and leave some last seeds for the humans." He had this confidence. At this moment, fighting 6 venerable emperors alone was quite easy for him. However, even if he blocked 6 of them, the humans would still be completely defeated. It was up to Zhang Tao to decide whether he would block the enemies or take a few people away. So what if he blocked 6 venerable emperors? Could Zhang Tao turn the tables around? Zhang Tao ignored him. Looking at Li Zhu, he suddenly said, "Can your tree of life still bear fruits of life? Or do you have any other way to bring the dead back to life? Li Zhu, why don't you give one to the demon emperor? Maybe he can bring his wife back to life." Li Zhu smiled, but did not speak. Unquestionable Jian also said indifferently, "What else do you want now? The fruit of life from the tree of life can bring people back to life, but it doesn't work on completely dead people. Even if there's only a trace of their consciousness left, they might be able to come back to life." He did not finish his words, but his wife didn't even have a trace of her consciousness left. Even his physical body was something that he had gathered with all his strength back then. How could she come back to life without a trace of her life? "I see." Zhang Tao let out a sigh. Looking at the 3 venerable emperors he was fighting against, he said, "Do you have to do this? There is no deep hatred between human beings and the other domains. The other domains all chose to help the humans this time. Why do you have to hit us when we are down?" The 3 venerable emperors had stopped him. Otherwise, he might have been able to break out of the encirclement with the others. The Luofu Mountain, the Void Mausoleum Cave Heaven, and the Huatong Mountain. Of these 3 domains, besides the Yang family ancestor who had died, the other 2 had descendants on the human side. The Luofu Mountain's venerable emperor said slowly, "I don't want to be your enemy. Give me the gate of all life, and I will leave now." Zhang Tao said with a smile. Really? He did not believe it. If it was really for the gate of all life, this venerable emperor would have told him before he attacked. Their goal was straightforward. They wanted to kill these human experts. Because according to the legend, the gate of all life was just a gate without a key. The key was the humans. If they did not kill Zhang Tao and the others, even if they got the gate, they would not be able to open it. After killing them, the gate of all life would still belong to them. At this moment, the Battle King was fighting 1 against 4, and he was constantly being beaten back. Although he had the strength close to the Emperor realm, it was not his Tao. After fighting so many times, he was not as strong as he wanted. Seeing that Zhang Tao was still talking, he immediately scolded. Do you have any backup plan? If not, I will explode myself now. I can at least kill a few of you. Otherwise, I won't be able to explode anymore. As soon as he said this, the 4 real kings quickly restrained themselves. The Battle King looked at him with disdain. Cowardly as a mouse. I was just saying, why would you explode yourself if you were not desperate? It would be a loss if you couldn't kill them. Backup plan? Zhang Tao said softly. Yes. The Fate King sneered. As soon as he finished, unquestionable Jian slashed his head again and said indifferently, I hate this kind of smile. I don't want to kill you, but it doesn't mean I can't. He didn't want to kill them. He just didn't want to kill these people in the situation of fighting 1 against 6. Why not? This was something that no one knew. Unquestionable Jian was indeed powerful. So powerful that it was a little frightening. The Fate King's head recovered. He was a little pale, but he didn't laugh this time. He had used up a lot of his energy. If he was seriously injured by unquestionable Jian a few more times, his rank might drop. The Fate King stopped laughing, but Zhang Tao did. I didn't expect this. Although it was selfish, it was still useful. Now that I've used it, I can only rely on you guys. As soon as he said this, in the air, Li Zhu suddenly led the powerhouses under his command away from the battlefield. Unquestionable Jian also raised his eyebrows. He quickly and forcibly moved the 6 venerable emperors away from the battlefield. At this moment, Zhang Tao laughed loudly. Why did you force me to do this? Why did you have to do this? As soon as he said this, an unexpected scene happened. At this moment, almost 30 silhouettes suddenly appeared around Zhang Tao. They were all Zhang Tao. These silhouettes were all golden, just like Fang Ping's previous clones. They were made of imperishable matter. Zhang Tao did not share much of the 500,000 yuan worth of imperishable matter. He kept it for himself. The moment these clones appeared, they were listless at first. However, in the next moment, their auras suddenly skyrocketed, their gazes turning cold and fierce. Zhang Tao's aura, however, declined sharply. Almost in the blink of an eye, his mentality was so weak that it was almost extinguished. Damn, kid, humans are going to rise. Zhang Tao murmured. If humans don't rise, I'm going to die. Even if he went into a trap this time, he hoped that Warlord and the others could help him escape and hold on until he recovered, let alone kill them. Otherwise, he would die sooner or later. As soon as he said this, almost 30 clones flew in all directions almost instantly. In the blink of an eye, they landed in front of some people. Then, there was an earth-shattering roar. Rumble, heaven, and earth were overturned. At this moment, Mount Royal Sea, which had stood for thousands of years not far away, was on the verge of collapse. With a rumble, it collapsed thousands of meters in an instant. Ah! There were endless screams from the catacombs and humans. At this moment, the 3 venerable emperors were also facing the self-destruction of many clones. Rumble, heaven, and earth turned into nothingness. Zhang Tao, an expert whose mentality was close to the Heavenly King level, detonated 99% of his mentality and a large amount of imperishable matter, causing an earth-shattering explosion. At the same time, Zhang Tao's body cracked, and he quickly attacked one person, the weakest venerable emperor, the master of the Void Mausoleum Cave, who ranked the lowest among the 3 venerable emperors. You also want to get involved. You killed your apprentice, but I think it's your family's business. I don't want to say anything. No matter how bad the Yang clan's old ancestor is, he is on the human side. Only we humans are qualified to kill him. Who do you think you are? The master of the Void Mausoleum Cave was killing humans. Not only was Venerable Sovereign attacking, but his disciples were also besieging and killing humans in the king battlefield. Don't you know you're very weak? Zhang Tao's voice was playful. In the shocked eyes of the other party, Zhang Tao had almost no mentality at this moment, but he still had his physical strength. With a roar, he used all his strength to suddenly grab the master of the Void Mausoleum Cave, who was flying backward. I'll tear you apart. Roar! An inhuman roar came out of his mouth. At this moment, Zhang Tao looked extremely ferocious. Among the three venerable emperors, the master of the Void Mausoleum Cave was the weakest. He had planned to use it to deal with life kings, but these three guys actually attacked humans. They were looking for a weak opponent. At this moment, he felt it was not worth it if he didn't kill a venerable emperor. Kill first, kill the one who was the most confident. Zhang Tao grabbed the venerable emperor with both hands. As the venerable emperor crazily bombarded his body, Zhang Tao roared and directly tore the venerable emperor in half. The venerable emperor was not dead yet. His golden body was broken, but it was not enough to kill him. Seeing his aura drop again, the master of the Void Mausoleum Cave saw hope. He also saw the return of the other two. But at this moment, Zhang Tao suddenly opened his mouth like a real demon, and his mouth became extremely huge. I'll swallow you, and then we'll fight. Die. Zhang Tao's mouth was extremely huge, and he directly swallowed the venerable emperor. Then he turned around and looked at those shocked experts. His voice came from his stomach. Let's work together to open a passage. Go. The void had already collapsed, and this was the best time to open a passage. On the catacomb side, 2 or 3 real kings had just been killed by the clone self-explosion, and the others were also seriously injured. At this moment, human experts no longer cared about Zhang Tao's brutality. They all roared and bombarded the void. In the blink of an eye, a huge passage appeared. Seeing this, Zhang Tao rushed into the passage without saying anything. The others all followed. At this moment, the 2 venerable emperors came to their senses, and they could not hide the shock on their faces. King Wu must be crazy. He was not dead yet. In King Wu's current situation, if he swallowed the master of the Void Mausoleum Cave, the 2 of them could still fight, and it was hard to say who would live and who would die in the end. Opening a passage, could it really save mankind? For this, the price King Wu had to pay was unimaginable. His mentality was not even 1/10 of his strength, and there was still a venerable emperor in his body who could come out at any time. Was all this really worth it? King Wu had a chance to escape alone. Although they thought about it, the 2 venerable emperors still said quickly, "Go after him. Such a brutal person must die." Zhang Tao was now the weakest he had ever been. He could not use his mentality, and his body was also trapped by an emperor-level expert. It would be good if he had the strength of a true god. If they did not kill him now, when would they? Ruthless enough. Li Zhu also sighed, then said with a smile, "King Wu is more decisive than I thought. But in this way, even if some human experts escape this time, they will die next, unless they hide for the rest of their lives. Is it worth it? King Wu is injured like this. Even if he didn't die now, people would hunt him down." Someone answered after he finished speaking. "Maybe he has a backup plan?" Unquestionable Jian answered indifferently. Li Zhu looked at him and said with a smile, "Demon Sovereign, don't you go and save them? If you don't, your wife may not come back." "It doesn't matter." Unquestionable Jian said indifferently. "He just told me everything through voice transmission. Although this man is sinister and cunning, he is decisive and knows his limits." Zhang Tao told him the location of the ice coffin when he was injured like this. He was decisive enough. Otherwise, unquestionable Jian would not have been afraid of anything. He might have used his strength to do something. Li Zhu said with a smile again, "That is a little out of my expectation. Demon Sovereign, do you think he can escape this disaster?" "Not interested." Unquestionable Jian smashed King Thousand Goblins' dragon head with a casual blow. He said indifferently, Wait. I promised him that you can chase him after 10 minutes. Don't force me to kill you. That was Zhang Tao's only request. If so, unquestionable Jian would satisfy him. The 6 venerable sovereigns could chase him. He knew the location of the ice coffin, so he didn't care anymore. But he didn't mind satisfying Zhang Tao after 10 minutes. The venerable sovereigns looked grim, but no one attacked again. King Kun had been stopped. No one could defeat unquestionable Jian. If so, they would wait a little longer. King Wu didn't have the ability to fight them now. As long as they caught him and found him, humans would be wiped out. Everyone looked at unquestionable Jian. His figure was still illusory. Li Zhu was looking at him too. He seemed a little confused. Even if Demon Sovereign is hiding in the land of rebirth, does he still need to hide at this moment? He doesn't even dare to restore his real body. Then, Li Zhu said with a smile, or Demon Sovereign is no longer Demon Sovereign? Unquestionable Jian looked at him, saying nothing. Li Zhu mumbled, some people think you're either dead or resurrected. But if you're resurrected, you wouldn't be as powerful as you are now. But why doesn't anyone think? Maybe you're really resurrected, but you found the body of the Demon Sovereign? Li Zhu said playfully, a martial artist who revives with memories, voluntarily revives, seals his remains, and then retrieves them. This king has never tried it before. Would he still be able to maintain his previous life's battle prowess? Demon Sovereign, why don't you tell me? Unquestionable Jian said faintly, do you want to try? No, I just want to know why you resurrected and gave up the identity of the Demon Sovereign. Is it necessary to give up the power of the Demon Sovereign? What Li Zhu said made King Ming and the others shudder. What did he mean? Could it be that the current Demon Sovereign was just a body? Someone was controlling it? No. Could it be that the resurrected Demon Emperor was controlling his own body? Was it possible? Resurrected? Unquestionable Jian said coldly, Li Zhu, you're overthinking. Do I have to do that? Isn't it? Then why doesn't the Demon Sovereign dare to show his face? Or is he afraid of exposing something? Are you that interested? Unquestionable Jian said softly, I'm also very interested in you. Who are you? As soon as he finished speaking, he slashed with his sword. The void shook. Li Zhu dodged. He did not take it head-on, nor did he attack. While Li Zhu and unquestionable Jian were testing each other. Capital City Catacombs. Fong Ping's face was full of despair. It was over. He was surrounded by venerable emperors. However, at the moment of his despair, 100 miles away, a wave so powerful that it could destroy heaven and earth spread, attracting everyone's attention. The next moment, a wave of space fluctuation rippled around Fong Ping. Zhang Tao's face was pale. He grabbed him with one hand and said in a muffled voice, Luckily I can sense you, kid. He knew Fong Ping too well. Plus, their paths overlapped, so he could still sense Fong Ping's location. He broke through the void in an instant and grabbed Fong Ping. Then, he dragged Fong Ping into the space passageway and sprinted toward misery. The remaining human powerhouses were all there, flying toward the other end of the passageway at breakneck speed. Behind them, a large number of powerhouses were chasing after them. Zhang Te did not care. At this moment, his mentality was terrifyingly weak, but he still sent a voice transmission to Fong Ping. When we reach the Forbidden Sea later, escape immediately. Remember, you must help me revitalize humanity. The stronger humanity is, the more hope I have to recover. Otherwise, I won't live for long. In this life, I've eavesdropped on too many secrets. Now, I'm getting my comeuppance. Without mentality, it's worse than death. Do you hear me, kid? Zhang Tao was not sad. He was just a little emotional. He even said directly, without mentality, a life without gossip. I'd rather die. You better remember this. This kind of life was too boring. He did not want it, even if the situation was still dangerous. Even if everyone could see that he was seriously injured, like a candle in the wind, Fong Ping and the others did not know whether to laugh or cry. Why were you still thinking about gossip at this time? The next moment, the passageway entrance appeared. They had arrived at the Forbidden Sea. Zhang Tao did not say anything. He grabbed Fong Ping and tossed him forward, roaring, "Remember this! Remember!" Fong Ping replied loudly. Zhang Tao did not look sad at all, but at this moment, Fong Ping could not stop his tears from flowing. "Remember, you're going to die. I can feel it. Your mentality is weakening. How much longer can you hold on?" Fong Ping did not ask. He did not want to ask. Humans must be strong. The king of humans needed humans to be strong. If they were not strong, he would definitely die. Tears flowed. With a bang, Fong Ping fell into the sea, disappearing without a trace in the blink of an eye. Chapter 1001. He threw Fong Ping away. At this moment, on the shore of the Forbidden Sea, Zhang Tao looked back at the crowd. Other than him, there were 42 people. On the catacomb side, including King Hua, there were 4 people. On the human side, there were 38 people. Wu Chuan and Kong Lingyuan had just arrived. Originally, there were 36 people excluding Zhang Tao. When they came, there were 52 people excluding him and Heavenly King Zhen. In this battle, 16 human desperation realm powerhouses had fallen. Nearly 1/3. Zhang Tao looked at the crowd, turned around and punched, shattering the passageway. In the distance, some true king powerhouses rushed out from the shattered space, but they were hundreds of miles away. Further away, Zhang Tao took Fong Ping away, and the others followed. There were nearly 300 powerhouses on both sides added together. Today, more than 100 powerhouses had died in battle. In addition to these remaining people, there were close to 500 true God realm and above powerhouses gathered at the king battlefield. More than half of the 3 realms' true gods are here today, Zhang Tao murmured. More than half. Except for a few people, almost all of them were here today. In these years, they had experienced the war of the earthly emperor god dynasty, the war between the north and the south, and the demon emperor's invasion 1,000 years ago. After so many years of fighting, many true god powerhouses had died. Today, except for some true gods who stayed behind, such as some borderlands, outland, immortal islands, catacombs, and divine sects, those who should have come were all here. No, some people haven't arrived yet. Zhang Tao continued to murmur. Who hadn't arrived? The catacombs' powerhouses had yet to appear. 1,000 years ago, the demon emperor killed some veteran true kings. After that, many of those true king powerhouses disappeared. For example, Cat Tree did not arrive today. No one knew where these veteran powerhouses were hiding. They had not been seen until now. However, there should not be many of them. Otherwise, they would not have been defeated 1,000 years ago, and so many true kings were slaughtered by the demon emperor. Do your best, and leave it to fate. Zhang Tao looked at the people who were chasing behind. He did not know if they would come when the trap was activated. As for the people present, since they were so close, most of them would go. However, those hidden fellows might not arrive before the trap was closed and sealed. If that happened, he would not be able to do anything. But when the time comes, the 3 realms will be in chaos, and the leaders of the various factions will disappear. The remaining true gods might not target the humans. All kinds of thoughts flashed through his mind. The next moment, Zhang Tao said in a low voice, "So many comrades have died. I can't accept this." Among the catacombs' leaders, almost none of them died. I am even more dissatisfied. Not a single one of Ming Wang, Feng Wang, and the others died, but I'm still not satisfied. It's not just them. This time, the realm beyond heaven played a huge role in this. The contributions of the realm beyond heaven could not go unnoticed. Many venerable sovereigns had joined the battle. The 5 venerable sovereigns who came to assist the humans were all entangled by the Grandmasters. 3 of the venerable sovereigns who besieged Zhang Tao were also from the Grandmasters. The 3 venerable sovereigns who would take part in the battle in the domain were the last things to worry about. In the overseas celestial islands, the nameless sovereign venerable had participated in the battle at the beginning, but he had been killed by Moon Spirit before he could even make a move. This had scared the sovereigns of the overseas celestial islands so much that almost none of them dared to make a move. This time, so many humans had perished. The catacombs were mortal enemies. There was no need to say anything. When two armies fought, there was no need to hold grudges. However, the realm beyond heavens, up until now, not a single venerable emperor of the realm beyond Avalon had died, and almost none of the real gods had died. At the end of the battle, the realm beyond Avalon might have suffered the least. The War King looked at the rapidly approaching pursuers and cursed. Still not leaving? What's the point of being unresigned? You're weaker than him? Leave? Zhang Tao gritted his teeth and said, if we don't hurt them and kill them, they might not come after us. Everyone listen to me. Later, all of you will infuse your power into my body. We will kill a venerable sovereign before we leave. Everyone was stunned. Zhang Tao was not Fong Ping. Previously, when he fused with the Tao, he did not fuse with the Tao just because he wanted to. That was because 6 near-emperor-level powerhouses were willing to sacrifice their lives in order to successfully fuse with the Tao. Now that the energy had entered Zhang Tao's body, he would be the first to explode. Zhang Tao, cut the crap and hurry up. My Tao of normalization can withstand this. Zhang Tao looked at the people behind him and said with bright eyes, damn, if you want to kill someone powerful. Kill Changrong. I'm going to release my dragon transformation. Having said that, he growled, hurry, leave a few who are fast and preserve their strength. They will lead us to escape later. As soon as he said that, everyone stopped talking. Except for a few extremely fast powerhouses, the others all infused their power into Zhang Tao's body. From inside Zhang Tao's body came the roar of the void mausoleum grotto heaven's master. Damn it. You'll die. His mentality was almost depleted. Zhang Tao was still letting others infuse his power. If his golden body exploded later, he would really die. Most importantly, he was currently trapped by Zhang Tao's physical body. If Zhang Tao exploded, he would probably die too. You don't want to die? As long as you don't want to die. If you don't want to die, then help me sort out my power. Zhang Tao grinned. Scared? So what if it was the enemy? When the enemy is here, you have to serve me too. I'm afraid of death too, but I dare to die. Do you dare? As soon as he said that, the void mausoleum grotto heaven's master stopped talking. No one knew how angry he was. Soon, however, Zhang Tao, who was about to explode, stopped expanding. This person was really helping Zhang Tao sort out the messy power. Now, the two of them were almost one. If Zhang Tao died, would the others deliberately let him live? Stop joking. Having one less competitor was a good thing. Zhang Tao took a step back and quickly stepped into the range of the Forbidden Sea. The Forbidden Sea could absorb the overflowing energy and conceal one's aura. This place was also the best place to ambush people. Dragon Transformation Emperor, hold Changrong back for a moment and bring him to the front. Right at this moment, Dragon Transformation, who was currently fighting with Heavenly Emperor Changrong, heard a weak voice. It was very weak and somewhat lacking in energy, but he recognized that it was Zhang Tao's voice. His expression did not change. As an ancient emperor, Dragon Transformation could still do this. The current Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation was also somewhat powerless. He had aged. His life was about to reach its end. His strength was declining. His condition was declining. Although Changrong was also ancient, he was younger than him. His consumption these few years was not great either. Although he had the upper hand for a while, fighting until now, he fell into a disadvantage instead. He understood Changrong too well. Once he died, everyone in Dragon Transformation Heaven would have to die. Originally, he was still counting on the humans to help. Who would have thought that the humans suffered heavy losses this time? Zhang Tao and the others might not be able to survive. Therefore, Changrong had to die. If Heavenly Emperor Changrong did not die, then what would be destroyed would definitely be Dragon Transformation Heaven. Dragon Transformation. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation muttered. Dragon Transformation Heaven. King Dragon Transformation. No one knew why he had this name, Dragon Transformation Heaven. It was just a name. How he named it was up to him. But sometimes, was it really just a random name? The next instant, this ancient emperor let everyone know why he was called Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation. Roar! An earth-shattering roar sounded out. At this moment, between heaven and earth, a colossal dragon that was 10,000 meters long appeared. A true colossal dragon. Demon race? How is this possible? Dragon transformation is a demon. At this moment, everyone was stupefied. Heavenly Emperor dragon transformation was actually a demon race. Impossible. The human clan and the monster clan were completely different. When the monster clan reached the true immortal realm, they could transform into a human. However, they could not transform into a real human. For experts like the Thousand Goblin King, they could maintain their human form. They could hide it from those who were weaker than them. Those who were stronger than them, or those who were on the same level, could tell that they were from the monster clan. In Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation, no one had ever thought that he was of the demon race. At this moment, even Heavenly Emperor Changrong was slightly taken aback too. Demon race? There was no time for him to think. The Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation, who transformed into a dragon form, his aura rose a trace. It was not too much, but he who was originally the Lord of the Four Brahmas, his strength was incomparably powerful. At this moment, even if it was just a trace of strength rise, it seemed to be somewhat close to the level of the 36 saints. Roar! The dragon roar shook the heavens. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation brandished his claws. The enormous claw directly grabbed Heavenly Emperor Changrong. Dragon Transformation, you exceeded this seat's expectations. But even if you're the demon race, so what? Heavenly Emperor Changrong gave a cold snort, a spear sweeping out, sweeping the enormous dragon claw until blood flowed. Dragon Transformation was strong, but he was not weak either. Similarly, being the Lord of the Four Brahmas, Dragon Transformation's losses these few years were tremendous. Now his life was even approaching the end. Fighting until now, even if Dragon Transformation transformed, it was also just a trace stronger than him. In a contest between powerhouses, this bit of disparity was not enough to become the foundation that determined everything. But at this moment, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation was not in order to kill him at all. With a fierce roar, the enormous dragon claw grabbed the other party and tore through the air rapidly, flying towards the Forbidden Sea. Since Zhang Tao said it, perhaps there was a way to kill Changrong. Heavenly Emperor Changrong furrowed his brows slightly. The long spear tore through the air, piercing through the enormous claw. Golden blood sprayed all the way. If someone obtained this blood under a lucky chance at this moment, they might be able to be like Zhang Tao back then, obtaining a huge lucky chance. If a demonic plant or demonic beast obtained it and did not self-destruct from the energy impact, there would also be huge harvests. But today, probably no one would have this lucky chance anymore. In the massive capital catacombs, it was hard to say whether or not there were living people below true God at this moment. The pressure of several hundred powerhouses shook heaven and earth. The entire capital catacombs was trembling. The Forbidden Sea was even roaring as if it wanted to invade this place. In the capital catacombs, there was a human race's largest giant city. At this moment, quite a few people saw that enormous city. But at this time, the giant city was empty. Under the circumstances where no one was guarding, the enormous city seemed to be collapsing. The giant city that had stood tall for close to 100 years seemed to have the trend of being completely destroyed on this day. No one cared about how a city was. At this moment, between heaven and earth, it seemed like there was only that enormous dragon, the dragon claw grabbing a powerhouse whose vitality broke through the clouds. Dragon transformation. At this moment, Heavenly Emperor Changrong also saw the human side on the Forbidden Sea ahead and said with a cold snort, "Do you think that by joining hands with them, you can kill this emperor?" Wishful thinking. Even if these people join hands, killing an emperor rank would also not be that fast. At this moment, the powerhouses at the back already caught up. Not far away, Heavenly Emperor Ping, you shook off Gong Zhuanzi and was just preparing to rescue him. At this time, everyone was of the same breath and branch, and also knew that they could not let a powerful comrade go and seek death. How could they leave him be? And right at this time, a blood-colored long blade condensed in Zhang Tao's hand. blood-colored long blades tended to be the symbol of humans going all out to kill. The humans' most famous combat technique was not Zhang Tao and these people's ultimate art, but the blood blade art. A combat technique that condensed all of one's strength, unleashing a final killing blow. Martial artists who used this combat technique before, 8 or 9 out of 10 all fell in the catacombs. Some killed a powerful enemy in the final blow, some did not. Regardless of whether there was or not, it made the enemy tremble in fear. The blood-colored long blade appeared. Heavenly Emperor Chong Rong frowned slightly. The one who unleashed the blade was Zhang Tao. Previously, when Zhang Tao was seriously injured, he also sensed it. His strength had fallen severely. The current Zhang Tao, even if he attacked with all his strength, a desperate blow, he could not do anything to him either. But why did he feel somewhat uneasy? Emperor-level powerhouses were extremely sensitive to danger. Just as he felt uneasy, the distance between the two parties was less than 10 miles. At this moment, the void in front of Heavenly Emperor Chong Rong trembled. A great Tao crept over. Great Tao of Source, grasped proficiently, could even be used as a passageway. 10 miles, it was just 5,000 meters. Emperor-level powerhouses all had the ability to cross such a long distance in one step. Right at this time, a figure appeared. Zhang Tao. He did not choose to attack through the air, but stepped out of the Forbidden Sea. At this moment, Zhang Tao wielded a blood-colored long blade in his hand, blood gushing on his golden body, but he roared fiercely. Today, killing my human race's people will all end up like this. The shout had yet to fade when a long blade tore open the world. Damn it! Heavenly Emperor Chong Rong roared angrily, a spear slashing out. The moment the long spear touched the blood blade, it instantly exploded. Chop! Puchi! Like cutting through tofu. Heavenly Emperor Chong Rong's long spear shattered, and in the next second, the long blade directly cut him in half. This blade not only cut his golden body into pieces, but also his mental energy at this moment. Zhang Tao's golden body exploded, but he laughed crazily. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's dragon claws were also cut, and even spread up. His torso was exploding, but he also laughed crazily at this moment. Rumble! The sound of thunder rang out. The energy sun appeared. The entire sun turned blood red. At this moment, the entire underground cavern, as far as the eye could see, was dyed blood red. Not only that, the blood red color was still spreading out of the celestial realm wall. At this moment, the human world, Earth, was dyed blood red. Heavenly Emperor Chong Rong, the master of the 4 Brahmas, close to the sage realm. Ancient emperors, before the celestial realm was destroyed, they were active in the celestial realm. Ranked 16th on the emperor list. And the bronze emperors with the strength of sages were only ranked 11th. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation was ranked 8th, but that was when he was in the state of dying and was not afraid of death. In addition, many experts did not appear, and Li Zhu and the others hid their strength, which was why they had such a ranking. At this moment, the body of this emperor, who had lived since ancient times, was cut in half, his eyes still filled with confusion and disbelief. I'm dead? In the battle to destroy the earthly emperor god dynasty, he did not die fighting the earthly emperor's projection. He did not participate in the battle between the north and the south, but at that time, no one dared to provoke him. The demon emperor wanted to destroy the world, but when he reached Chong Rong heaven, he turned and left. 1,000 years later, on the eve of the arrival of the great era, he came out. Even if a heavenly king or sage appeared, he still did not think he would die. Who was he? The master of the 4 Brahmas. Even if a sage wanted to kill him, they would have to pay a heavy price. Other than a lunatic like Moon Spirit, the 2 kings did not dare to fight him to the end. Once they killed him, they would be injured, and the future would be very troublesome, unless a heavenly king attacked him. But heavenly king experts were restrained, and they targeted each other. Heavenly Emperor Chong Rong did not have time to think. Endless darkness devoured him. The moment his consciousness was destroyed, A rain of blood fell on his face. At this moment, his last thought was not indignation, but a very strange thought. My great Tao collapsed, and this was all this blood rain? Didn't they say that the stronger the person who died, the more obvious the phenomenon would be? Was I not strong? Boom! The two halves of the corpse fell to the ground, causing the earth to collapse. Heavenly Emperor Changrong was dead, the strongest person who had fallen today. A powerhouse close to the sage realm had fallen, not the kind that a nameless venerable emperor could compare to. There were not many ancient venerable emperors left, and there were not many venerable emperors who came today who were older than Changrong. In a situation where the humans were no longer able to fight, Zhang Tao had actually killed an ancient venerable emperor. At this moment, Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu stopped, not daring to go forward. Even though Zhang Tao's golden body had exploded, and his aura was almost undetectable, but he still stopped. At the same time, among the 14 powerhouses of the 10 major grotto heavens and 4 Brahmas, the only venerable emperor who had not appeared until now appeared. Heavenly Emperor Yulong Heaven, where Yu Shuzi was. This venerable emperor had not appeared from beginning to end, nor had he participated in the battle. But at this moment, he still walked out of the spatial rift. Looking at Changrong's fallen corpse, his gaze was complicated. The masters of the 4 Brahmas from ancient times until now had gone through countless battles, and now there was finally one less. In the sky, lightning flashed and thunder roared. The phenomenon was indeed a little different, but unfortunately, Heavenly Emperor Changrong could not see it. Just as everyone was shocked, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation transformed into human form, grabbed Zhang Tao, and quickly fled in the direction of the Forbidden Sea. At this moment, Zhang Tao spat out blood, red blood, but he laughed softly and said, "Storage ring." Dragon Transformation's figure paused, and without turning his head, he turned around and grabbed half of the corpse and quickly fled. Even a martial king wanted money. Look at the situation. Everyone was shocked that he had killed Changrong, and this guy was actually still thinking about the storage ring. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation almost had a mental breakdown. Changrong is dead. At this moment, Heavenly King Zhun, King Sun, and King Jin stopped fighting and looked at the Forbidden Sea thousands of miles away. Their gazes were a little complicated. How many years had it been? The death of someone at Changrong's level was almost impossible to see. Even if a few masters of the 10 major grotto heavens fell in the battle of the north and south, they might not be as strong as Changrong. Changrong was slightly older than them. Thinking about it, he was an expert from the same era as the 8 kings. King Human King, King Jin murmured. He originally thought that King Human King was at the end of his rope, but who would have thought that he would exceed expectations time and time again? At this moment, he actually killed Changrong, even with the help of Dragon Transformation. Even so, it was still shocking. It might not be easy for Heavenly King to kill Changrong. However, King Human King is completely crippled. King Sun looked at Heavenly King Zhun indifferently and said, "Li Xuanxie, do you still want to hold us back? The human world has lost." King Human King was crippled. Who else could fight the remaining people? There was not a single Dharch-level expert in the human world. As for Dragon Transformation and the others, would they really fight to the last moment for the human world? At this moment, Gong Yuzi no longer participated in the battle. Zhang Tao used the corpse to threaten unquestionable Jian. So Gong Yuzi did not participate in the battle. How long could Dragon Emperor, Heavenly King Xianji, and Gong Zhuanzi fight for? Heavenly King Jin thought for a moment and said slowly, "You and I don't need to interfere at this moment. Whether the human world lives or dies, why do we have to depend on them? Why don't the two of you wait together?" After saying that, he teleported and appeared in another direction of the Forbidden Sea in the blink of an eye. There were also 2 experts here, King Qian and King Kuan. 5 Heavenly King experts were here at this moment. Heavenly King Zhun's words also reached here. King Qian was an unremarkable old man. When he heard that, he smiled faintly and said, "How the situation of the 3 realms develops depends on them. Why should we interfere? We only need to wait for the Emperor path to appear and find an opportunity to see if we can step out of the Emperor path. Now that these people are fighting endlessly, it means that they are still far from the Emperor path and hope to take another step forward. Before he finished speaking, the young-looking King Kun opposite him said indifferently, "Emperor path? King Qian, do you have the strength of Heavenly Hound? Even Heavenly Hound couldn't take the final step. Can you?" King Qian smiled and said, "Heavenly Hound wants to forcefully break the door, but we don't need to do that. When the Tao appears, we can just go straight." The Heavenly Hound fell because the Heavenly Hound was too strong and too competitive. It wanted to forcefully break the door. It fought the heavens and earth, and fought the arch-level experts. Therefore, Heavenly Hound was dead. King Kun did not say anything and did not attack again. At this moment, King Kun looked thousands of miles away as if he had seen everything. He said faintly, "Who is Li Zhu?" King Qian smiled faintly and said, "Him? This old man has guessed a few things. Unbreakable and indestructible, destroying and ruling the world, creating a bright world." Before he finished speaking, King Kun's body trembled slightly. "It's him?" "Probably." King Qian smiled faintly and said, "It's just some of his memories. It's hard to be sure if it's him or not. It's hard to say whether Li Zhu swallowed him or he swallowed Li Zhu." After hearing King Qian's words, they all guessed Li Zhu's identity. Even Heavenly King Zhen raised his eyebrows slightly and said with a smile, "It's him? This is out of my expectations. This person is ambitious. Although he is not an emperor, he used the name of an emperor to carry out emperor's affairs. The three realms are in chaos, and the heaven realm is destroyed. It can be said that this person's contributions cannot go unnoticed." It was just a few words, but it was shocking. At this moment, if there were outsiders here, even the ancient venerable emperors, they would be shocked. At the same time, a few thousand miles away, Li Zhu seemed to sense something. He turned his head and looked over. He nodded slightly and smiled calmly. King Kun was indifferent. "This person should be killed." King Qian smiled and said, "Isn't what you've learned similar to him? With the same kind of people. Why do you care so much?" Back then, the earthly sovereign also trusted him a lot. "I heard that he even taught you. You can be considered his disciple, right?" "Disciple?" King Kun looked at him indifferently as if he did not want to say anything more. At this moment, Heavenly King Zhen looked at King Qian and said with a smile, "Heaven Plant's royal court. Is it really you?" "It's me, it's not me," King Qian said mysteriously. Then he laughed and said, "It's not me, but I heard that Heaven Plant's royal court has a King Qian. How can I use the title so easily? I was even suppressed by you, Li Xuanxia. Wouldn't that ruin my reputation? 300 years ago, I killed him. After that, I became King Qian." Heavenly King Zhen understood and said with a smile, "That's right. No wonder I felt something was wrong. So, it was you?" After that, Heavenly King Zhen looked at Li Zhu and then the two kings. He smiled and said, "Call them over for a chat. We're all old friends. It's rare to see each other. Speaking of which, we haven't seen each other for thousands of years." As he said that, he blasted out a path. On the other side, the two kings turned around. No matter what Heavenly King Zhen said, Heaven Plant's king said indifferently, "Since the Heavenly Kings have invited me, how would I dare to refuse?" As soon as he said that, the two kings walked over. On the other side, King Qian broke the void with a strike. On the other side, Li Zhu shook his head lightly and said, "People of different principles can't make plans together. You have to come whether you want to or not." Heavenly King Zhen reached out his hand and grabbed. It was not up to him whether he wanted to come or not. He was dealing with this person. From afar, King Jin broke the void with a strike. On the other side, Demon Monarch looked at him and didn't say anything. At this moment, King Sun didn't move. Everyone looked at him, and King Sun scoffed. "I won't provoke that lunatic. You guys can try calling her over." Everyone fell silent. "Who?" "Moon Spirit." King Kun didn't say anything. That was his sister-in-law. But at this moment, he didn't say a word, even if she was dealing with his three guardians. Moon Spirit had long gone crazy. She went crazy the moment the heaven realm was destroyed. Who would want to stay with this lunatic? Others could still talk, negotiate, and be calm. But that person, once she came, she would probably look for someone to kill. She would kill anyone who stood in her way. Even if she couldn't defeat her, she would still be able to disgust them to death. Thus, at this moment, everyone ignored Moon Spirit. Everyone here had the strength of a heavenly king, including the two kings. Chapter 1002. Those heavenly king powerhouses gathered together. At the same time, even though Zhang Tao was already powerless, he roared loudly again. All of you, just wait. Your father, will remember everyone today. Don't even think about running. There will be a day of reckoning. If this Zhang, don't die, you all can't live. Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's expression changed slightly. At this time, you're still spouting harsh words? But Zhang Tao laughed loudly and said, your father opened the gate of all living things and became an emperor. Those who deserve to be killed, don't even think about escaping. Even if I don't become an emperor, your father will also become your nightmare day and night. At the back, some people woke up. Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu, and these people's expressions changed slightly. This guy, at this point, he actually still dared to say this. This was really courting death. Even if some people originally did not want to kill him, they had to kill him at this time. Many people actually did not necessarily want to exterminate the human race, crippling the human race, such as King Wu dying, more than half of the apex dying. This was actually enough. But Zhang Tao said this. Then they all had to die. Because not only Zhang Tao, at this moment, War King also roared loudly. That's how it should be. As long as we live, none of these guys can think about living. 1,000 times, 10,000 times. Sky beyond heaven, outer sea, immortal island, domain, divine sect, catacombs. Those who have attacked humans today, 9 generations will be exterminated. This fatty was gnashing his teeth at this moment. Zhang Tao laughed loudly. Go! One dead is one dead. Whoever lives will take revenge. Don't leave a single one alive. Zhang Tao roared loudly again, his eyes blood red, turning his head to look around, laughing loudly and saying, I'll remember you all. Can't forget. You all just wait. The current him was more like a villain. He who had just killed Chang Rong also proved to everyone that everyone present, no matter who encountered him, could be killed. King Wu was too strong. If King Wu only had the level of killing Heavenly Emperor Great Peace, Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu, and these people might not be worried about anything. But after he killed Chang Rong, even saints had to be careful. Chase! Heavenly Emperor Ping Yu gave a clear cry, leading everyone to chase quickly. At the same time, many emperors chased in the direction of the Forbidden Sea without a word. Fate Monarch and the other venerable sovereigns got rid of the unquestionable sword and followed them. Chase. Kill until the human race is extinct. How unwise was Zhang Tao to utter such harsh words at this time? Did he think that he could scare them off? The more it was like this, the more they wanted to take revenge, and the more they had to hunt him down to the end. They were not the only ones. At this moment, some venerable sovereigns who had not participated in the battle also exchanged a glance and followed them. They wanted to see if Zhang Tao would die. Just now, when Zhang Tao swept his gaze around, he seemed to have seen them as well. If this person didn't die, there would be a huge disaster. Behind them, Moon Spirit roared furiously. Where is Fong Ping? Zhang Tao had thrown Fong Ping away. Right now, she could not sense where Fong Ping was. In the Taboo Sea, some of the powerhouses who still had some energy left brought along the powerhouses who had consumed a lot of energy and fled. Upon hearing that, Zhao Xingwu hurriedly sent a telepathic message to Zhang Tao. We're in big trouble. Think of something quickly. If we can't find Fong Ping, she might even destroy the world. Zhang Tao's brows twitched when he heard that. Grabbing Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation's arm, he shouted again, You want the remains, is it? Fong Ping has already been handed over to me. Venerable the Archmoon Spirit, if I don't die this time, I will naturally hand him over to you. Or if I'm about to die and you're still nearby, I will also hand him over to you." Humph! A cold snort resounded between heaven and earth. Moon Spirit's eyes were blood red as she said, "If I don't see him in the end, I will kill you first. Then I will destroy your entire clan." Zhang Tao did not reply. This woman had to be taken away too. Although he had helped humanity block many powerhouses today, the premise of everything was the remains, not to mention that there was no such thing. Even if there was, who knew if this woman would continue to go crazy if he handed it over to her? Knowing that her man was really dead, this woman would go crazy and want to destroy the world. This was something that could not be predicted. Zhang Tao did not reply. Instead, he kept turning his head to look at those who were chasing after him. At this moment, he was no longer shouting. His eyes, however, were cold and fierce, imprinting one powerhouse after another in his heart. The more he did so, the more terrified everyone felt. King Wu's vengeance was too strong. This time, King Wu must die. It was too frightening. Moon Spirit was crazy, but this lunatic could still be avoided. As long as you did not offend her to the point of death, she would not deliberately chase after you. She had a very high attitude. However, King Wu was capable of anything. Rumble! One by one, the powerhouses quickly broke through the air and chased after him. Even the powerhouses who did not participate in the battle coveted the gate of all living things, and also wanted to see Zhang Tao die. Seeing this scene, Zhang Tao breathed a sigh of relief. Not only that, at this moment, the gate of all living things on Zhang Tao's body once again emitted a bright light. He had to lure out some of the hidden guys. It's not enough. Some of the guys who are hiding deeply may not be able to sense it. Even if they sense it, by the time they arrive, it may be over. I need to make a bigger noise. At this moment, Zhang Tao's mind was constantly thinking about something. Cat, make some noise. Don't expose your location. Make something that can be sensed by the powerhouses. He had to give those hidden people time to arrive. He dared not to say anything else, but he dared to say that the Emperor-level powerhouses would come. Emperor-level powerhouses lived to become emperors. As for the Emperor-level powerhouses, their strength was inferior to the 36 sages and the heavenly kings. It did not matter. When the Emperor's great path opened, they might directly enter the gate and become emperors. At that time, the long road would not be a problem. As for whether it was possible or not, no one dared to be sure, but it was also their only chance. There was still a possibility. It was possible to go as far as the origin Tao could go in a day. It was rumored that there were extreme Tao heavenly emperors who could walk tens of thousands of meters in a day. When the opportunity arrived, everything was possible. Annoying cat. At this moment, in the depths of the forbidden sea, the cat muttered, "How annoying. He had to work again." What was attracting people and not letting them know where he was? Didn't the fake human emperor know that this was very complicated? I really want to stab him to death. The cat sighed. It was so tiring to be a cat and not be able to rest, making people feel that there is a problem. It might be an opportunity. The cat lay in the void and looked up at the sky. As he looked, he suddenly had an idea. Yes, I forgot about this. The cat looked at the huge sun in the sky. It was already dawn. This movement can be very big, but how do we go up? The cat had a headache again. It was very difficult to go up. It seemed to be in the sky, but in fact it was very far away. This big cake is outside the ninth heaven, and I can't break the ninth heaven. How do we go up? The cat had a headache. Back then, the heavenly dog wanted to eat this, but it could not break the ninth heaven no matter what. It could not even steal it. What should he do? Back then, someone seemed to have opened a path that went straight to the ninth heaven. Is it still there? The cat recalled the past. As he thought about it, he felt a little sleepy. He shook his fat head hurriedly. He could not sleep. If he fell asleep, the fake human emperor and the others would all die, and then there would be nothing to eat. So annoying. Who opened a path to go outside the ninth heaven? Where is that path again? The cat muttered to himself. Soon, all kinds of messy things appeared on his paws. There was a broken crown, a broken jade pendant, a broken weapon. Fong Ping felt that it was a rag and bone collector. Maybe he was right. However, even if it was rag and bone, some emperors would fight over it if it was thrown out. After searching for a while, the cat found a broken small hoe and muttered, "Is it this guy? This guy likes to use a hoe to open a path. Did he open a path to the ninth heaven?" The cat really could not remember, but he had to make every possible effort. Very soon, the old cat muttered, "Little hoe, find a way for me. I want to go beyond the 9 heavens." The hoe seemed to respond, trembling slightly. Soon, a path appeared in the void. The cat poked his head in to take a look. Suddenly, he turned around and slapped the hoe, saying angrily, "It's not this place." Then, void paths appeared in the surroundings again. The cat poked his head in one by one. It was not this place. Just when the cat was a little disappointed, a path appeared shakily. At this moment, the hoe seemed to have exhausted all its power and exploded with a bang. The cat looked sad. It was over. The hoe was broken. Even a liar owes himself 14. No, 18. Forget it. Let's say 20 divine weapons. The cat was too lazy to count. He would just say 20. Although this hoe had long been useless, it was still a very powerful divine weapon in the past. As for whether there were still 20 divine weapons in the 3 realms, this was not in the cat's consideration. The void path trembled. The cat looked at it helplessly and muttered, "This path is going to be destroyed. What if I can't come back? Really, there's no one outside the 9th heaven, and there's nothing to eat. If I really get lost, who's going to raise me?" It did not want to go, but after hesitating for a moment, it walked in pitifully while wagging its tail. The void path was frighteningly ancient. It was dead silent and dark. The cat stepped into the path and was a little scared. He meowed and quickly ran forward. He did not care what was in the path and did not dare to look around. It was so dark. He was a little scared. After running for a while, there was light in front of him. The energy was so dense that it condensed into lumps and kept falling. An incomparably huge, sun-like object appeared in front of the cat's eyes. At this moment, the cat could not see the whole picture at all, nor was he interested. He had seen this thing before. Other than that fool Tengu, he did not want to eat it at all. He could not raise his appetite. What gate of all living? I always feel that those fellows hid the source of the great path in here. The cat muttered to itself. Maybe the door that was blocking the door was here. But what did it have to do with me? I don't have a door. You can just snatch it. The 9th heaven. They could not come, so it was useless to say anything. The source of the great path might be here. Forget it, I don't care. I'll hit it a few times. When the cat spoke, he stretched out his paws. He hesitated for a moment, a little afraid. There seemed to be countless veins on the surface of the huge sun in front of him. Some of them were broken, and blood seeped out. The cat did not care about this. He did not like the color of blood. He was looking for a suitable place to hit. Hit it once, then run. I don't know where it will explode. Just don't blow me up. The cat muttered for a while, and then somewhat resigned to his fate. Hit it. An energy ball condensed on his paws. The cat quickly threw it and did not look back. He meowed wildly and quickly returned along the path. He ran. What if he was blown up if he did not run? After running for a while, there was a rumbling sound behind him. The path kept exploding. The cat screamed, "No, don't follow me. I didn't do it on purpose. This cat accidentally hit it. Don't chase me. Save me. I'm going to die." The cat's cry was unbearable. "I'm going to die." The rumbling sound behind him became louder and louder. The cat ran forward frantically. Soon, there was light in front of him. He was almost at the exit, but when it saw the exit, the cat screamed again. The pseudo-human emperor told it to make some noise and not expose the place. Now that it exploded, it would make a big noise, but wouldn't the place be exposed? Meow. Whatever. I'll try moving the celestial realm away later. The cat could not care anymore and rushed out. Just as he rushed out, an extremely violent energy wave came from behind him. Rumble! The Forbidden Sea went crazy. The entire Forbidden Sea was suddenly set off at this moment. Heaven and earth were trembling. In the void at this moment, great Tao suddenly appeared. Some were illusory, but some were real. Countless energies would have been absorbed in the forbidden sea, but at this moment, it was the opposite. They overflowed from the forbidden sea, gathered together, and then exploded. The cat was dizzy. He did not know how far he was blown up. In fact, it even saw a small island off in the distance that had just been blown up. There seemed to be someone on it. The cat covered his eyes with his claws, not looking. I didn't do it. The pseudo-human emperor wanted me to do it. As for the 33 immortal islands, whoever was unlucky enough to be blown up by me, bah, by the pseudo-human emperor, it has nothing to do with me. The cat pushed all the blame away. I forgot. After a nap. It was the pseudo-human emperor who did it. The commotion was not over yet. At this moment, all kinds of phenomena appeared. Heaven and earth alternated between gold and blood. The forbidden sea was still tumbling and spreading out, and rumbling sounds resounded in all directions. Not only that, but the huge sun in the sky seemed to be shaking slightly. The sky changed. Night, day, it changed rapidly. The entire catacombs fell into an extremely strange state at this moment. Black and white alternated. When the cat saw this scene, his fat face seemed a little embarrassed. It was just a hit. Why was there such a big commotion? Looking at the trap that he had set up not far away, the cat looked around furtively. Then he quickly rushed over, struggled to carry the door, and fled quickly, panting. He had to run. If he did not run, he would be finished. The pseudo-human emperor was satisfied now, right? This cat had caused a big commotion. At the same time, the catacombs. Rumbling sounds resounded in every corner of the catacombs. Heaven and earth were shaking. Blood and gold shone in all directions. Darkness and day kept changing. Countless people looked up at the sky. What was going on? Was the end of the world here? Today, there was a downpour of blood, and now the phenomena had spread everywhere. What was going on? It was not just the catacombs. At this moment, it was the same on earth. The roars of heaven and earth were endless. Countless people walked out of their homes and looked at the constantly changing sky. At this moment, some martial artists on earth seemed to have sensed something different. Nearby, energy was gushing out. No one knew what was going on. Only a few people thought of the catacombs. They did not know if something big had happened in the catacombs, or the celestial world wall was about to shatter. The energy was becoming denser. No one knew what was going on in some dangerous places in the catacombs. At this moment, someone soared into the sky. In a 10,000-mile swamp, an area densely populated by monsters. An old man emerged from the ground, looked at the sky, and then looked in the direction of the forbidden sea, muttering, "What's going on? The celestial origin is moving. Could it be that the great Tao is about to appear?" The celestial origin was outside the ninth heaven. No one could move it. The 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors could, but they were all dead. Other than them, who else could move it? Could it be that the great Tao had appeared and moved the celestial origin? Or was it something else? Originally, the old man had been waiting for the great Tao to appear and was not interested in the battle in the king battlefield. The gate of all living things. The gate of all living things was just a rumor. Who knew if it was true or not? Before the great Tao appeared, he would not engage in such a meaningless battle. However, at this moment, the old man looked into the distance and muttered, "The great Tao is moving. I've waited for so many years. No matter what, I should go take a look." The next moment, the old man took a step forward, one step tens of thousands of meters. It seemed slow, but it was shockingly fast. A 10,000-mile distance only took a moment. It was not just this place. At this moment, there were experts appearing in many places. In a catacombs dynasty's territory, in a dazzling palace. A sneaky-looking old man's expression changed. He suddenly looked outside and said in a low voice, "The celestial origin is moving? Who can move the celestial origin?" The old man frowned. Emperor path, becoming an emperor, was the only goal of many experts. However, just as the old man was tempted, his heart suddenly trembled. A figure flashed in his mind, and his body trembled. The heavenly hound was dead. The heavenly hound that made him tremble in fear in the past had died on the path to Emperor Path. Would it be useful if he went? Not only that, the ash cat was also active in the three realms. Thinking of this, the old man instantly suppressed the greed in his heart. I can't go out. I can't leave this place. Once the ash cat found me, it would definitely make me go back and bear fruit. The old man shuddered. Being eaten by humans, no, being eaten by cats every day. He had enough of such a life. He finally escaped when the ash cat was asleep. If the ash cat did not die, he would not leave. Emperor Tyr. So many people tried to become emperors, but how many survived? The old man murmured, "Go ahead and become Ren Huang. Just don't let the cat become Ren Huang." One by one, the experts who had been hiding came out of their hiding places. At the same time, Taboo see. The expressions of the Heavenly King, subduing Heavenly King, and the other overlords changed as they looked up at the sky. The movement of the immortal origin actually affected the bitter sea. The Heavenly King stage powerhouses looked at each other, and in the next moment, without another word, they all shot off into the distance. The celestial source had actually affected the Sea of Sufferings, which meant that a passageway had appeared between the 9 heavens and the earth realm. Who opened the passage? With the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors gone, who else could open the passage? Could it have been unintentionally opened? No matter what, this was an opportunity. Maybe he could take this opportunity to walk out of the 9 heavens and go to the immortal source. These heavenly king powerhouses did not seem to care much about the gate of all living things before, but at this moment, they were extremely concerned about it, especially King Kuan. No one knew better than him what the so-called gate of all living things was. But at this moment, it wasn't the gate of all living things that was moving, but the immortal origin, a human immortal's immortal source. The root of the turmoil back then, even the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors might have left something there back then. The 4 emperors wanted to destroy the immortal origin, but in the end, they failed. Back then, there seemed to have been a great battle outside the 9 heavens. Now, they had searched the entire 3 realms, but they could not find anything special. Was the opportunity to become a Ren Huang there? At this moment, all the heavenly kings were rushing over there. Even Heavenly King Jin was no exception. But at this time, Heavenly King Jin was shocked. The cat did it? It can go to the 9 heavens? This cat, how did it go there? I really want to catch this cat now and rob it. Even Heavenly King Jin had such thoughts. One could imagine how important it was to go to the 9 heavens at this time. The 9 heavens, let alone the Emperor stage, even heavenly kings could not go there. That was exclusive to the emperors and 4 emperors. Only they could break the 9 heavens and enter the 9 heavens. And the others did not have such strength. The cat's unintentional move attracted too much attention. At this moment, Zhang Tao also felt that something was amiss. The movement was too big, so big that he was shocked. Could it be that the Emperor path had really been opened? Otherwise, how could it cause such a situation? At this moment, Zhang Tao was also dumbfounded. What did the cat do? Could it be that this guy really had a way to open the Emperor path, and now that the act had come true, it wanted to open it? This cat, if you had said so earlier, I might as well go and become a Ren Huang. Zhang Tao did not know whether to laugh or cry. Well, the movement was so big that everyone who should know knew. Looking at the experts chasing behind them, many people were eager to make a move. They looked into the depths of the Forbidden Sea. Obviously, these people were hesitating at this moment. Should they continue to chase, or should they go there to take a look? They were hesitating. At this time, Zhang Tao glanced at Warlord. Warlord immediately shouted, "Go there! There's an opportunity over there. Restore your strength and take revenge." The human experts rushed toward the place where the most powerful explosion had just occurred. At this moment, the experts behind no longer hesitated. Not only could they chase after the people, but they could also go there to check the situation. Everyone rushed toward the place where the explosion had occurred. At the same time, everyone gathered there. In the sea, Fong Ping and the others dispelled the combination. restrained their auras, and rushed there quickly in the water. While rushing, Fong Ping said in his mind, "Big cat, did you really open the Emperor path?" It was too shocking. At that moment, the forbidden sea was tumbling violently. Countless energy waves exploded in the sea. The cat was still very far away from him. In his mind, the cat was so tired that it was panting. It muttered no. This cat didn't know. Who knew? This cat had only hit the immortal source. How would it know that there would be such a powerful explosion? It thought that the path was just a little shaken. Fong Ping was speechless. He had the same thought as old Zhang. If he had known this would happen, he would have brought them alone to look for the opportunity. Did it have to be like this? This cat had too many secrets, and it was very unreliable. No, it was so reliable that it was a little scary. We asked you to make a trap. Don't tell me you really did it. Chapter 1003. Fong Ping was speechless at the cat's answer. Thinking about it, Fong Ping asked quickly, "Big cat, is there a way to kill a few heavenly kings or something?" This time, although they had killed many people compared to the catacombs, the human losses were less than a quarter of theirs. It was really frustrating. The whole world was their enemy. Everyone wanted to kill humans, because humans might be the key to activating the seed of rebirth. Humans could not be too strong. They had to be raised like pigs. When they really needed human blood sacrifices, they could do it as they pleased. Right now, humans were too strong. There was suppressing Heavenly King before and Martial King after. Fong Ping's progress was also frightening. Therefore, there was this encirclement and annihilation of humans. Even if Zhang Tao did not set up a trap, there would be such a crisis this time. And even worse, on the human side, if the powerhouses of the 6 sacred lands had not gathered in advance and respected Zhang Tao as king, maybe this time, the human powerhouses would all die. Those people besieged and killed the human powerhouses separately. Their strength could not be used together. It would be strange if the human powerhouses did not die. Therefore, this time they came prepared. The result was still considered good. But so many people died. Fong Ping still felt bad. He saw that a few desperation powerhouses had fallen in Star Town. Sword King had already integrated his Dao. Battle King had shattered his own Dao and continued the Dao of an Emperor-level powerhouse. But it was an outsider after all. It might be troublesome in the future. On Zhang Tao's side, he was also seriously injured and in danger of dying. The more Fong Ping thought about it, the more indignant he was. In his mind, the cat was in so much pain that he wanted to cry. Heavenly King? The liar was crazy. The fake emperor was crazy. The liar was crazy too. They actually wanted this cat to think of a way to kill heavenly kings. Heavenly kings, they were very strong. He was not even emperor level. What were they thinking? The gray cat gobbled up the fish-headed demonic beasts in a frenzy. At this moment, only these fish-headed demonic beasts could comfort its wounded heart. Heavenly kings are very strong. We can't kill them, the cat said aggrievedly. When Tengu was here, he couldn't even kill heavenly kings. He might be able to kill one one-on-one, but if 2 come, Tengu can't beat them either. This cat doesn't know how to fight. How can I kill heavenly kings? Fong Ping's eyes flickered. If we don't kill heavenly kings, what about the 36 saints? Saints? They're also very strong. We can't beat them. Overlord Tier? Fong Ping lowered his request once again. This time, the cat suddenly felt a little embarrassed. Listen, he had been demoted from a heavenly king to an ordinary overlord. Overlord Tier, at the moment, the cat was running while carrying the portal. It was so tired that it was panting. After thinking for a long time, it mumbled, "I don't know if I can poke an overlord-level creature to death, but I really don't fight. I understand. Do you have a way to help people who self-destruct 90% of their spiritual power recover?" Fong Ping still decided to ask. The old cat had many tricks up its sleeve. Perhaps it could help old Zhang recover? Once old Zhang recovered, it wouldn't be difficult for him to kill an overlord if the others didn't expect it. Compared to him, old Zhang and the others would be even more miserable if they self-destructed their spiritual power. Moreover, he didn't self-destruct, but rather directly cut out, and then exploded. He was basically injured. Fong Ping had self-destructed, but he had preserved his origin every time. What Zhang Tao did was equivalent to cutting off his origin source. Now, his origin source was incomplete. Recuperate, the cat was stunned. After thinking for a while, it said hesitantly, "This is very difficult. We can only nurture it slowly. However, it's still possible to recover temporarily. It's just that it's fake. Stimulate the potential, and then recover temporarily. After that, it'll be even worse. Forget it then." Fong Ping suddenly dropped the idea. Fake? There would be sequelae after that? Old Zhang was about to be tortured to death. If there were sequelae, he would die even faster. Actually, you can also kill an overlord-level powerhouse, huh? Fong Ping was stunned. Me too. The cat seemed to be very conflicted. It mumbled, "It's not you either. I have a small stone monument. It's very powerful. I think it used to be Big Black Face. I don't remember. It specializes in poking people's origin source. After collecting their aura, you can sneak into the source world. Can't you go in directly? That's even simpler. You can bring the stone monument and sneak into their source world. Then you can guide powerhouses and sneak in. Then you can smash their source world." Fong Ping was delighted at first. Then his expression changed slightly. "No, once I enter, I'll be easily discovered by the Overlord level. I've tried it before. Forget about the Overlord level. Even the true gods can easily discover me. I know, but there's the stone monument. You can make the stone monument cooperate with you." But the cat suddenly burst into tears. Big drops of tears fell. He was really crying. "But this time I lost a lot of things. No matter how much I use the stone monument, it'll break." "Liar, I'm not doing it anymore." The cat was crying. "I'm not doing it anymore." He had already lost 20 divine weapons. If he lost another one, it would be 30. 3 realms divine weapons. Other than the ones he still had, he did not have that many left. The liar could not afford it. As for how 20 plus 1 was equal to 30, the cat was too lazy to explain. He was illiterate and did not know how to count. Of course, he had the final say. Seeing the cat's tears, Fong Ping was stunned. Was it necessary? You're a cat who's lived for tens of thousands of years. Do you need to cry? Is crying? I'm almost in a daze. Fong Ping hurriedly comforted him. If it breaks, then it breaks. I'll give it to you in the future. It's just a divine weapon, so what? If it doesn't work, I still have a few here. If I don't need them in the future, I'll give them to you. Liar. The cat had a look of disbelief. Those belonged to those fellows. Why would they give them to him? Also, did they really think that it was easy to deceive just because I was illiterate? What did he mean by giving them to him if he didn't need them? Even emperors could use them. The cat's face was full of displeasure, but it still muttered, "All right then, you guys come to me. Also, I don't know how to fight or poke people. Find someone to poke them to death yourself." Fong Ping's origin was naturally not as strong as that of an emperor level. Even if he managed to sneak in, he could not kill an emperor level. Fong Ping thought about it. Whatever, he would try it first. Even if he could not find anyone to help him, poking a few true gods to death would do. Listening to the cat's tone, with this stone monument and his ability, he might be able to sneak into a true god's origin space quietly. He could not kill an emperor level, but a true god, with Old Wong and the rest, he might be able to do it. Old Wong and the rest's willpower was still all right. But could these fellows appear in the origin space? It seemed like they could not do it if they had not stepped out of the origin path. Fong Ping did not care about this anymore. After asking where the cat was, he quickly came back to his senses and let Old Wong lead the team. There was no other reason. In the sea, how would he know if he would get lost? At this moment, Fong Ping had entered the Forbidden Sea. The seawater corrosion was not too serious. Iron Head had the divine armor, so it was not a big deal. It was the same for Old Wong. His vitality force felt like a fish in water in the sea. This was somewhat consistent with Fong Ping's previous guess that the Forbidden Sea was related to Old Wong. Perhaps after Old Wong died in battle, his blood had flowed into the Forbidden Sea. As for Old Yao, he was the most miserable. His golden body was badly corroded, and Fong Ping could only constantly replenish him with imperishable substance. Previously, he was left with 500 million points of imperishable substance. After the fusion battle, there were only about 300 million points left now. Fong Ping was worried. This bit of wealth was not enough. Entering someone else's origin world would consume wealth points, and the consumption would be huge. We'll talk about it when we get there. At this time, Fong Ping could only go and meet up with the cat. As for old Zhang and the rest, everyone was watching them now. Fong Ping did not want to add to their troubles. In the sky above the Forbidden Sea, the powerhouses were still fighting. At this moment, Zhang Tao had already met up with Gong Zhuanzi, the Dragon Emperor, Heavenly Emperor Dragon Transformation, and Heavenly Emperor Black Season. In addition to Warlord's current strength, as well as that elder ancestor of the Shao clan, the humans still had the power to fight. However, there were more powerhouses chasing after them. Gong Zhuanzi could not help but send a voice transmission. King Wu, must we go this way? Now that the Tao is in turmoil, maybe it's safer to go somewhere else. I want to try my luck, Zhang Tao said weakly. Maybe we can reach the sky in a single bound? Seniors, I'm already very grateful that you can help the humans this time. At this moment, I will not be courteous with you. Send us to the place where the Tao chaos is erupting, and you can leave. There is no need to fight them to the end. If your lives are in danger, you can also retreat in advance. The few of them did not say anything. If their lives were really in danger, they would not really stay. It was okay to help the humans, but to fight to the end, they did not have that kind of friendship. Zhang Tao wanted to try his luck, but they did not know what to say. At this moment, he still wanted to fight. Did he have a chance? However, they could not stay calm about the temptation of becoming martial emperors. Maybe it was better for Zhang Tao to go this way, and they could also go and have a look. If Zhang Tao really went in another direction with the humans, then they would also be in a dilemma. Should they help the humans or go to the place where the explosion occurred? As they spoke, they kept turning back to attack. Fate King and the others, together with more than 10 venerable sovereigns, were following behind them, constantly consuming their energy. While they were still hurrying in that direction, several Heavenly King stage powerhouses had quickly arrived at the place where the explosion occurred. Seeing the collapse of this place, King Kuin's eyes lit up. He looked around and said in a low voice, "The celestial source exploded here." As soon as he said those words, he punched out, and a shattered passageway appeared in the air. Looking at the passage, King Kuin immediately cursed, "Damn it! The passage is broken. The passage leading to the 9 heavens." At this moment, Li Zhu also looked around and said faintly, "This passage. I think I've heard of it before." King Qian was also surprised. He said, "Yes, I've heard of it. The Divine Emperor once used the Divine Emperor Ho to open a passage leading to the 9 heavens. He wanted to open an herb garden outside the 9 heavens. In the heaven realm, with the heavenly hound and the heavenly cat, the good herbs couldn't grow at all. At the mention of these two, everyone's eyes lit up. These two fellas were indeed not good people. In the past, when they were in the heaven realm, they caused chaos in the world. Whoever had good food or useful things had to be guarded against them. The Divine Emperor's only hobby was to cultivate some natural treasures. The current Demon Plant clan was closely related to the Divine Emperor. A demon plant, the first demon plant to become a god, seemed to have been cultivated by the God Emperor. Demon beasts had emperors, but demon plants didn't have emperors. However, in that era, the Demon Plant clan wasn't without a backer. The Divine Emperor was their backer. King Jin didn't want to talk about this. He said in a low voice, "This passage is said to have been destroyed in the ancient times. The celestial source was placed outside the 9 heavens. The Divine Emperor sealed this passage and destroyed it. How could it appear now?" Everyone didn't know why it was like this. The few heavenly kings stood in the void, their eyes glowing as they scanned the surroundings. At this moment, they could still see the celestial source outside the 9 heavens through that broken passage. They were also tempted, but they soon became dispirited. This was the nine heavens. It was fine if the passage was still there. Without it, they would have to endure the pressure of the nine heavens. Breaking the nine heavens was not something they could do. Back then, the Emperor of Batian could break the nine heavens with one punch. They didn't have this ability. A heavenly king powerhouse's vitality was extremely strong. The weakest one had a vitality of 5 million calories. However, this was the kind that was comparable to a rank 9. The strong ones were even stronger. For a powerhouse like the subduing king, who could fight 1 against 2, it was hard to guess how strong he was. However, could the subduing king break the nine heavens? At the first heavens, shattering required 150,000 calories of vitality. 15, 30, 60, 120 at the seventh heavens. Even without accumulating, shattering also required 6 million calories of vitality. At the ninth heavens, that terrifying and shocking 38. For million calories of vitality was comparable to a rank 9. It was comparable to a desperate state's 19. 2 million calories. Of course, at the level of an extreme path heavenly emperor, the vitality would still transform and not need so much. However, no matter what, it was not something that a few heavenly king powerhouses could break the nine heavens. Looking at the broken passage, the few heavenly king powerhouses were filled with regret. It was broken. All these years, it was not that no one had looked for it, but they could not find it at all. Now the first heavens was already in chaos. It was occupied by some powerhouses' source spaces. The space was chaotic. Sometimes, they could not even find the second heavens. Not to mention the ones above. Now that this path that led directly to the nine heavens had appeared, this was the greatest opportunity since the heavenly realm shattered. But now it was gone. At this moment, Li Zhu said softly, "Why would a passage opened by the divine emperor suddenly appear here?" Having said that, he looked at a place not far away. That was where the heavenly realm ruins were originally located. However, the door was moved away by Tsangmao. This heavenly realm ruins seemed to have been moved away. Even so, they still had some sense of the space shattering. These people were too familiar with the heavenly realm. King Qian frowned and said, "This place seems to have had heavenly realm fragments before." "It's not just heavenly realm fragments." King Kuan, the young-looking heavenly king, held a seal in his hand and murmured, "I feel an unusual aura here. My heavenly king's seal was acting strangely just now." "Me too." King Sun and King Jin took out their heavenly king seals. This time, they looked at each other, and in the next moment, they shouted, "Nine Emperor's Seal. Heavenly Court's Jade Seal." Although the name was different, they did not care. They looked at each other, and their expressions changed. At this moment, the two heavenly kings should be the weakest here. The two heavenly kings did not speak, but they transmitted their voices. Nine Emperor's Seal. Heavenly Court's Orthodox. Heavenly Herb. Monarch Tianming's eyes were bright as he transmitted his voice. This thing is not only the Heavenly Court's Orthodox, but it is said that it can fuse the 8 heavenly kings' heavenly king seals and the 36 saints' tokens. Once it is fused, it will be the #1 divine artifact in the 3 realms. There is even a rumor that, after fusing with this item, one may obtain the inheritance of several emperors. Heavenly Court's Jade Seal. The inheritance of the 9 emperors. If the 9 emperors block the way, could it be that they block their own path as well? If the 9 emperors were really dead, they might be able to become emperors by following their path. However, the 9 emperors' seal disappeared when the heavenly realm was destroyed. Moreover, the 36 saints and 8 heavenly kings were rumored to have died. Because of this, no one thought about this for the past few years. It was too difficult. Who could collect these things? A total of 45 seals. The 9 Emperor's seal was a godly weapon. Although the Heavenly King's seal was not a real godly weapon, it was still a semi-godly weapon. Moreover, there were 36 seals. Collecting all of these would be 10 times, or even 100 times more difficult than finding the seed of rebirth. But now, the most crucial 9 Emperor's seal seemed to have appeared. Among the 8 Heavenly King's seals, Qian, Kuan, Sun, and Jin were all here. Heavenly King Jin, That meant there were 5 heavenly king seals here. Among the 36 saints, there were 3 under King Kuan. As for the other 36 saints' tokens, it was said that some venerable emperors had collected some by chance. This way, it would be much easier to find the other seals. Moreover, it was said that the 9 Emperors' seal was the foundation. Once they found the 9 Emperors' seal, they might be able to find the other seals quickly. They were tempted. At this time, Heavenly King Jin was also going crazy. If I had known that the 9 Emperors' seal was in this cat's hands, I would have swindled it no matter what. This cat is dumb. How would it know the importance of the 9 Emperors' seal? Maybe I could exchange it with some food. Heavenly King Jun did not know whether to laugh or cry. 9 Emperors' seal. This was the symbol of the heavenly court. The 9 emperors had been blessed by this seal. Not only that, the 9 Emperors' seal was more important than imagined, especially to Zhang Tao. If Zhang Tao obtained the 9 Emperors' seal, he might not only be able to merge with the Tao of the human realm, but also walk the Tao of the 3 realms. Of course, there was only hope, but even a little bit of hope was an amazing opportunity. Where did this cat get this thing from? After the war, did this guy sweep through the heavenly realm? So many broken divine weapons plus the 9 Emperors' seal. The key is that this cat doesn't cultivate or fight. It only knows how to sleep. Why does it need so many divine weapons? What a waste. At this moment, Heavenly King Jun was a little crazy. Did those sovereigns and extreme Tao heavenly emperors think about it? Did they think that after they died, someone collected many of their belongings, but did not use them to increase their strength in battle, but to keep them as a collection? Who would have so many divine weapons? Even if they were broken, keep them as a trump card. The cat had definitely not used them all these years, and did not even take them out. Otherwise, especially when the 9 Emperor seal appeared, they would more or less sense it. Cat, Heavenly King Jun looked around. Where did the cat go? This place had the aura of the 9 Emperor seal and the aura of the heavenly realm fragments. Did this cat really help them open the ruins of the war? I told you to make a trap, and you actually opened the heavenly tomb? There were not just one heavenly realm fragment. There were many, but there was only one place called the heavenly tomb, the place where the war was the most tragic, the place where sovereigns and extreme Tao heavenly emperors fell, and even fell there. It was also the core of the heavenly court. This was the real heavenly tomb. All these years, it seemed like only Heavenly Dog had found this place back then, but he still died there. The cat wouldn't have opened this place, right? Heavenly King Jin did not know what to say. Zhang Tao, we have set it up for so long. If the cat really opened the heavenly tomb, then it's over. Heavenly King Jun smiled bitterly in his heart. It was really over, because the heavenly tomb really had fortuitous opportunities. Becoming an emperor might not be impossible. Even if they did not become an emperor, heavenly king powerhouses might improve further. Once these heavenly kings became stronger, it would be big trouble. It was originally a trap, but now it might be giving opportunities to the enemy. The two were completely different, and there would be great changes. Heavenly King Jun was extremely helpless. It was all this old man's fault for underestimating the cat. This cat was messing around. Although it was rumored that it knew where the heavenly tomb was actually moving. Who knew where it was now? He did not even think of asking again. Even if he asked, the cat might not say. But now it was opened. He now had some doubts. Was the 9 Emperors' seal not in the hands of the cat? And was it originally in the heavenly tomb? He thought of the heavenly tomb, and the others more or less thought about it, and their eyes flickered. The heavenly tomb, the 9 Emperors' seal, the remains of sovereigns, the remains of extreme Tao, heavenly emperor, the passage to the immortal origin. It was originally just a scheme, but now maybe the great Tao of Emperor Ascension really appeared. King Kuan suddenly looked at Unquestionable Jian and said calmly, "Unquestionable Jian, you have been to the heavenly tomb before. What appeared here, just now, was the heavenly tomb?" Unquestionable Jian said indifferently, "I have been to the heavenly tomb once, but I only looked at the periphery for a while and obtained some fortuitous opportunities. The inner periphery is too dangerous, and it is not something I could enter back then. After that, the heavenly tomb disappeared, and it could no longer be found. As for what appeared here, unquestionable Jian paused before saying, I do not know. There is the aura of the heaven realm, but the explosion of the great Tao destroyed many traces. Whether it is the heavenly tomb or other fragments, I do not know. When he said this, no one questioned him. Indeed, it was hard to tell now. But this was a rare opportunity, and no one was willing to miss it. They did not say much and disappeared on the spot, searching for the heavenly tomb, especially King Kuan. He was the most concerned about this. He was the son of the earthly sovereign. Was the earthly sovereign dead or alive? If he was dead, would the great Tao still have an inheritance? As the son of the earthly sovereign, once he encountered it, he might be able to directly inherit the great Tao and become an emperor. These people were searching. As for the gray cat, it had already run far away. At this moment, it had just met up with Fong Ping and the rest. The gray cat carried the door with the big cat pattern. This time it was really tired and panting. It was not carrying a door, but a piece of the heavenly realm fragment. Liar! Seeing Fong Ping, the gray cat's eyes were red. This time, it was too pitiful. The loss was too great, and it was unbearably tired. The gray cat felt wronged and whined. I'm dying. I'm really done for. I lost 30 divine weapons, and I've lost tens of thousands of caddies. The corner of Fong Ping's mouth twitched. I don't really understand your quantifier. What did you mean by 30 divine weapons? What did you mean by losing tens of thousands of caddies? However, seeing the gray cat, Fong Ping also panted heavily, suddenly feeling a lot more relaxed. Although this cat was not reliable, it could still survive. After living for a long time, following it suddenly felt much safer. Fong Ping suddenly felt a little sad. It was bad enough that he relied on humans, but now he wanted to rely on a cat, and a lazy cat at that. He was living too pitifully. Thinking of this, Fong Ping began to ravage the gray cat's big head, but his mouth said, Big cat, it's okay. I'll make it up to you in the future. When you come out, I'll return it all to you. Really? Of course. Meow. You said it. The gray cat was happy. It would remember it. Fong Ping saw it happy and suddenly felt a little uneasy. He could not help but say, You want to go in? If you don't go in, you might not be able to lure others in. Go in. The gray cat lifted its head, its fat face full of curiosity. It did not say that it would not go in. Hearing it say that, Fong Ping breathed a sigh of relief, but he still felt that something was wrong. This cat agreed so quickly. Moreover, it was so happy just now. Who knew when they would come out? The gray cat, on the other hand, began to calculate in its heart. The liar had agreed so quickly, but it was going to go out tomorrow. Where could he find so many things to compensate it? Should he detain little chubby face? Let the liar use divine weapons to ransom people? When he had enough divine weapons, when would he let people go? This man and cat, at this time, were both daydreaming. As for Tai Tu and the other two, they were staring at the door, a little dumbfounded. This cat was neither a cat nor a tiger. Could it really make people believe that this place was a good place? P.S. I'm promoting a fantasy novel, The Walking God, written by a girl. Brothers, you can go read it. M. Moreover, it was a fight to the death. This was what caused the heavenly realm to shatter. Even though it was only a small fragment, it was still incomparably large and boundless. Ordinary emperor-level powerhouses might not even be able to destroy the buildings and spaces in this fragment. Heavenly Realm Fragment. Fong Ping was stunned for a moment. He recalled what happened earlier and asked hurriedly, Have you really activated Emperor Path? No. The cat shook its head innocently. It was all an accident. However, the cat had actually sensed something. At this moment, it was a little embarrassed and whispered, but that the Great Path seems to have loosened a little. In the catacombs, a part of the Great Path that was concealed seems to have been pierced by me. The old cat once said that someone had concealed the catacombs' Great Path. Therefore, in the catacombs, the Great Paths were more blurry. Many powerhouses felt that the end was right in front of them, or they might as well walk to the end themselves. Of course, the other party wasn't blocking the door, nor did he have the strength to do so. Perhaps the person who concealed the great path was still terrifyingly strong. Fong Ping could not help but ask, was unquestionable the one who concealed the great path back then? The old cat said that the great path had been concealed, but it had not been that many years. It seemed to be after the North-South War. In recent years, the biggest event was unquestionable the sword's attack on the catacombs 1,000 years ago. The cat shook its head and thought for a while. Even if Little Sword has the strength of a heavenly king, it can't be concealed. If you want to do this, it's best to be like the fake emperor, who can explore the catacombs' myriad paths. At this moment, a name suddenly appeared in Fong Ping's mind. Li Zhu. Could it be Li Zhu's doing? To conceal the great path, one must have some understanding of the catacombs' myriad paths. Ordinary people could not do it. However, there was a kind of person who could do it. The kind of emperor of a realm. For example, the human race's emperor path, the catacombs' earthly emperor path. Powerhouses who took these paths would have some understanding of other paths, because most of them were the kind where the myriad paths converged. In the catacombs, they had actually taken this path earlier than Zhang Tao. Their cities in the outland, the four royal courts, many dynasties, and divine sects were actually all taking this path. In recent years, the most successful lord of the four royal courts was actually Li Zhu. However, Li Zhu had only become a lord for a few years. Fong Ping was not too sure if it was done by him. If it was done by him, then the changes should have happened in recent years. Although he was not too sure, now that this kind of concealment seemed to have been broken, there was no point in looking back. Fong Ping was more concerned about something else. He asked hurriedly, if this kind of concealment is broken, what will happen? Will the powerhouses in the catacombs be stronger? They might, the cat said sheepishly. Some people used to feel that they had reached the end and had no way to go. Now, they might discover the path ahead and continue on. The cat was even more sheepish. This time, when it hit the immortal source, it did not expect it to explode this layer of fog. However, the cat quickly added, however, the human world will also become stronger. Back then, the immortal source actually absorbed the energy of the entire human world. Now that the immortal source is in turmoil and the energy is overflowing, the human world's energy will overflow. Very soon, the human world will be full of energy. Fong Ping looked at it in surprise. He could not help but ask, didn't you forget? Why do you remember so much now? The cat said gloomily, it's all because you guys force me to do it. You guys make me work every day. Every time, I don't use my brain and don't know how to do it. I'm also very depressed. I can only think and think until my head is about to explode. Isn't that why I remember so many things? At this time, Wang Jinyang said, we'll talk about this later. What we need to do now is to lure those people in. Minister Zhang and the rest are still being surrounded. This place has to be opened as soon as possible. Right now, most of those powerhouses were rushing toward the place where the explosion had just occurred. They were still some distance away. The reason why Zhang Tao asked the cat to do this was to lure more people out. By the time those people arrived, the trap would have already been closed. Fong Ping heard this and nodded. At least we need to delay for 20 minutes to give other powerhouses time to react. In 20 minutes, I think the powerhouses should have arrived. As Fong Ping said that, he added, but we have to create some danger. The dignified celestial realm is so safe. If it were me, I would feel that something is wrong. We have to make them feel that it's very dangerous. Sometimes people are just so contradictory. Riches come from danger. If you were not in danger, he might not believe you if you gave him benefits out of thin air. As Fong Ping said that, he quickly calculated for a while and said, Big cat, give me the stone monument. As for you, don't show yourself first. When it's a critical moment, show yourself and say in surprise, how did the heavenly cemetery end up here? Then rush in. The cat stared at him with wide eyes. Fong Ping continued, you're a big lazy cat. You won't do anything that's not beneficial or dangerous. Only when you, the cat, Go in while others think that there are really benefits to this place and that it's not too dangerous. The cat felt wronged. You're the big lazy cat. By the way, when you speak, it's best to add some other things. For example, what's the smell of some artifact? What's the smell of some emperor? And so on. Fong Ping taught Song Mao how to fake it. Don't exaggerate your expression too much. Remember to arrive at the right time. It's best to say that you've smelled some treasures. You're hungry and want to eat. Old Wang and the other two just stared at him. At this critical moment, this guy was teaching the cat how to perform. That was enough. The cat also looked at him foolishly, as if he was listening to the lesson seriously. He was not impatient at all. Instead, he felt that it was quite profound. It looked like he was even interested in exploring the essence of acting. This time, they were even more speechless. That was enough. Also, this door is a little too obvious. But rumor has it that you know where the heavenly cemetery is. It doesn't matter if there's a Dao door, but at this point, Fong Ping paused and said slowly, this time, unquestionable sword has appeared. Fong Ping looked at the cat. Unquestionable sword had been to the heavenly cemetery. Otherwise, he would not have been able to get Heavenly Emperor Zhan's heart. It was said that before he went to the heavenly cemetery, he did not have emperor-level strength. He was only a true god-level martial artist. It was because he went to the heavenly cemetery that unquestionable sword became stronger and appeared in the North-South War later. Fong Ping was more worried that the cat would run to unquestionable sword's side after meeting it. After all, this man and cat had a deep friendship. It was said that they had been together for hundreds of years. Fong Ping and Zhang Tao had only known the cat for a short period of time. Fong Ping did not wait for the cat to speak. He continued, he met me earlier and asked me to tell you that humans are humans and demons are demons. Humans have emotions. Demons should be emotionless. You are a demon, so you should be emotionless. Oh! The cat's reaction was rather flat. Fong Ping was stunned. The next moment, the cat said blankly, I'm not a demon. The four of them were stunned. Are you hallucinating? You are not a demon, but are we? The cat said innocently, I'm not a demon in the first place. Demons are actually created by others. It's a little artificial. I'm not like that. Big Dog and I are not considered demons. We're not the same species. The cat was very depressed. Demons were emotionless. What did it have to do with him? Little Sword's words were strange. Fong Ping was stunned for a moment. He could not help but say, that's not the point. The point is that unquestionable sword has appeared. Big Cat, if you betray us at this crucial moment, not only will we fail at the last step, I'm afraid that humans will really have no way out. Once the cat appeared and exposed this trap, humans would not be able to survive. It could be said that the key to this big gamble was still the cat. It was fine if unquestionable sword did not appear. Fong Ping was not worried. However, unquestionable sword had appeared. He felt a little uneasy. The cat was not as conflicted as he was. It mumbled, little sword won't die. Also, there are so many people. It's so uncomfortable to think of me every day. I'll just lock them all up. As for unquestionable sword, even if it went in, it would not die. It would just be locked up for a few days. The cat was not too conflicted. As for Fong Ping's worry that it would betray him, the cat said pitifully again, I've lost 40 to 50 divine weapons. I won't stop, huh? Fong Ping was stunned again. How much? When you came just now, you said 30. I don't know, so I won't say anything. Now you're raising the price in front of me? This cat is very naughty. I often use this trick. I used it the best on Qin Fengqing, creating something out of nothing. In the end, even Qin Fengqing himself was confused. The key thing is you, the cat, are playing this trick with me? Fong Ping said without batting an eyelid. Fine, but let's come to an agreement now. From now on, the divine weapons you gave me are considered gifts, not loans. How about this? The god-slaying saber and the stone tablet are considered gifts from you. How about that? Fong Ping added, I already owe you 40 to 50 divine weapons. These two are considered extras. When you shop online, people will give you small gifts when you buy a lot. I bought so much. It's not a problem for you to give me 2 broken divine weapons as extras, right? The cat stared at him with wide eyes. What he said made sense, but something was not right. When I shop, I get gifts when I buy a lot. But those are cat food. These are divine weapons, Fong Ping continued. Also, lend your fishing rod to old Zhang for a while. Return the Sky Destroyer to old Wang. You said that the stone tablet is old Yao's. Consider it as returning it to old Yao. No. The cat exploded. Its tail stood up high. The liar wanted to cheat it of its divine weapons. And it wasn't just one, he had to trick a lot of them. It was done. Also, the Sky Destroyer is its, not Heavenly Emperor Zhan's. Heavenly Emperor Zhan is dead. At the thought of this, the cat immediately explained, Zhan Du is dead. It's gone. He's dead, so the Sky Destroyer is ownerless. Whatever I picked up is mine. Wang Jinyang did not know whether to laugh or cry. He said hurriedly, you don't have to give it to me. The God of War Bao is enough for me now. I can't handle 2 divine weapons. He could not even control 1 divine weapon now, let alone 2. Wang Jinyang said helplessly, all right. Let's discuss what to do next. There are too many powerhouses on the Forbidden Sea now. Although we're hiding here, we might bump into someone soon. Let's arrange it as soon as possible. Fong Ping was very anxious before, but now he was not. Fong Ping was not too anxious. There was no use in being anxious. Every time something big happened, he had to be calm. Right now he was still quite calm. He needed some time. He had to give all the powerhouses time to gather. Otherwise, even if he opened this celestial realm fragment now, he would not be able to catch all of them in one go. If a few venerable emperors who were hostile to humans were left behind, then humans would be in even more danger. They would not even have the power to resist. As for the few true gods left behind, Fong Ping was not too worried. Although humans might not be able to defeat them, there were very few true gods left behind. All the forces were mixed up, and the leaders had disappeared. At this time, Fong Ping did not believe that they could quickly reach a consensus. Fong Ping was confident that he could deal with individual true gods who targeted humans. His goal this time was to get rid of those emperor-level leaders. As for those old antiques who were hiding in the depths, Fong Ping could not do anything if they did not show up for such a big matter. Since they did not even care about the opportunity to become an emperor, Fong Ping could only assume that they were waiting for death. After waiting for so many years, their lifespans were almost at the end. At this time, Emperor Avenue might have opened, but they did not come. What else could they do other than waiting for death? After weighing the pros and cons in his heart, Fong Ping looked at the conspicuous door, looked at the cat, and said, shove the door into the space rift first. As he said that, he added, around create more space rifts. It's best if they can cause a certain amount of damage to the true gods, so that they can focus their attention on the danger of the space rifts. Also, can the cat portrait on the door only appear when they are within a few meters of it? The cat looked at him and said blankly, why is it so troublesome? Fong Ping smiled and said, divert their attention, divert their attention. Among these people, there will definitely be someone who will explore the way first, and it won't be an emperor level, only a true god. At this time, the space rifts will make him vigilant. When he thinks that he has overcome the crisis and sees the door, but suddenly sees a cat, do you think he will be shocked or focus all his attention on this, thinking that there is a chance or a trap? Fong Ping said with assurance, and at that moment, I will break into the other party's source world and destroy his source world. Wouldn't that be easier? The few of them looked at him again. This was an application of psychology. Fong Ping should not be a martial artist. Fong Ping did not care about this. He said coldly, this time they have killed so many human powerhouses. How can they not kill more people? Besides, if they go in, humans will be in danger too. One less true god means one less danger. If the other party keeps probing, I will let all their true gods die. Of course, this possibility was not high. The cat also muttered, the small stone monument can only be used 5 or 6 times. It can't kill so many people. It could still be used a few more times before, but it had used this to break into old Zhang's source world, which had already caused the stone monument to crack. Fong Ping remembered that the cat once said that there seemed to be 33 divine weapons. He did not know how many divine weapons would be destroyed after this. Thinking of this, Fong Ping remembered that the cat said that he owed it 40 to 50 divine weapons. His face darkened again. How did this cat learn to count? There were only so many divine weapons. He already had 4 on his side, and Moon Spirit had 2. He did not know if the others still had them. In the past, he heard that the Heavenly King Seal was also a divine weapon calculating. Even if the cat took all the remaining divine weapons, there would not be so many. This cat was becoming more and more naughty. There was no time to dwell on this. While letting the cat set up the scene, Fong Ping said, "Big cat, the stone monument and the god-slaying saber can be given to me as extras. Is that okay?" "Meow. Don't meow like a cat." "I'm a cat," the cat retorted. "If I don't meow like a cat, am I supposed to meow like a human? Then I'll take it as a yes." "Meow. Okay, you agree." Fong Ping quickly looked at the system panel. He needed wealth now, not only for himself, but he also needed to give a portion to human powerhouses at the last minute. He did not know how dangerous it would be for these people to go in this time. A group of heavenly kings was locked inside. Who knew what would happen next? The 500,000 yuan of imperishable substance given to old Zhang seemed to have been used up. Right now, many human powerhouses were in a state of serious injury. When they went inside, the space battlefield had no energy to recover. As for whether the celestial realm fragments could provide energy, how much it could provide, these were all unknown. In any case, the more imperishable substance, the better. The cat was still unwilling to give away divine weapons as extras, but it could not resist Fong Ping's promise of benefits. When it came out, there would be delicious food and drinks, everything it wanted. Old Wang and the others were a little doubtful. Fong Ping kept making empty promises. Could it really come true? The trap was set up very quickly. The door was hidden in the space rift. Around it, dark cracks spread all over the void. It was extremely dangerous. At this time, Fong Ping also saw the increase in his wealth. The cat must have agreed. Otherwise, there would not be an increase in wealth. Wealth. 8. 2 billion points vitality. 219,999 calories. 219,999 calories. Mentality. 9,955 Hz. 10,455 Hz dash 9955 Hz. Unbreakable. Destruction power. 85 yuan. 85 yuan. Origin. Stage 1. Increase 9% plus 30%. Storage space. 10,000 cubic meters plus energy shield. 1 point/minute plus aura simulation. 10 point/minute plus origin detailed analysis. 10-100 million points/time, an increase of 8 billion wealth points. Of the 2 broken divine weapons, the stone monument was in Fong Ping's hands. He realized that it was cracked beyond recognition. Even so, it still increased by 8 billion points. Fong Ping was a little scared. He knew that divine weapons were valuable, but he did not expect the value of a broken one to be so high. If this was a complete one, did that not mean that his system might directly enter upgrade mode? That would be the end. 8 billion points, 80 trillion. The stone monument was broken beyond recognition. Its value was probably not high. The half-broken god-slaying saber had at least increased Fong Ping's wealth by 6 billion points. If it was complete, it would at least exceed 10 billion points. It was worth more than 100 trillion. Of course, at this point, there was no need to measure it with money. However, a rank 9 divine weapon was worth less than 100 billion. A divine weapon was worth at least more than 1,000 rank 9 divine weapons. Fong Ping calculated and felt relieved. Divine weapons were not comparable to rank 9 divine weapons. Hundreds of trillion was considered cheap. Maybe a complete one was even more expensive. Who knew how big the difference was between a complete one and a half-broken one? 8 billion points. Fong Ping heaved a huge sigh of relief. If he converted all of them into imperishable substances, he would have more than 800,000 yuan of imperishable substances. If old Zhang had not self-destructed so much, 500,000 yuan would be enough for the top human beings to fight a few big battles. Now, I'm inviting you into the trap. After setting up the trap, Fong Ping did not stay any longer. He quickly dove into the forbidden sea with Old Wang and the rest. At the bottom of the sea, Fong Ping quickly drilled a hole, extending all the way down. The cat followed along, watching them skillfully operating it. Its face was full of interest. Drilling a hole seemed quite fun. Did he not drill a hole in it too? Fong Ping drilled a hole while saying, "Big cat, lend me the divine peeking mirror for a while. I want to spy on the situation at the trap. Don't worry, this doesn't belong to you. After you appear, you can take it away. See if old Zhang needs it at the crucial moment. If he does, help him break the projection gate." Fong Ping did not know if there were other people's great paths in the projection gate. He also did not know if this was necessary. No matter what, it was better to be prepared. If he really needed it, at least the cat could do it. The cat wagged its tail. It wanted to exert its strength again and use the divine peeking mirror to break that whatever door. Thinking of this, it mumbled, "Then you'll owe me more divine weapons." 50 or 60. Fong Ping did not care what it said. For people who are not good at math, adding 1 would be adding 10. It would not be surprising if it became 100 later. The key was, 100 divine weapons was not a big deal. 1 truck of snacks should not be a problem, right? It was just a matter of 100 trucks of snacks. It was not a big deal. Very soon, Fong Ping drilled a deep hole at the bottom of the sea and filled up the passageway. The few of them hid in the depths of the sea. The cat took out the divine peeking mirror and aimed it at the door in the crack. The mirror showed an image. As for the cat, Fong Ping was not in a hurry to let it leave. They would hide here first. Maybe he would need the cat's help later. At this moment, the only thing they needed to do was to wait. When old Zhang felt that it was about time, they could let the cat activate the trap in this place. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.